When I played in the Olympics and Bill had you guys stop training camp to watch me in the team room, for him to do that because I was one of the guys on the team and it was important, and to stop training camp to do that and to have everybody wear the Ebner shirts out there like Stevie B made up and Mr. Kraft's support, just like the Patriots organization and that brotherhood and support, like first class. What was that like when we
did like one of those movie things, you know what I mean, where you got a little bunch of food and we all sat in there and we watched it. No one knew what the we were watching, really. Welcome to Games with Names. I'm Julian Edelman. They're Jack and Kyler, and we are on a mission to find the greatest game of all time. And on today's episode, we are covering the 2016 Summer Olympics Rugby Sevens team and their journey with Patriot special teams legend, Ohio State Buckeye, and stud rugby player, Nate Ebner. We get into talking the time I may have peed my pants.
You spilled it so hard that you collapsed, and I just remember you just like, I'm pissing my pants. Do you remember that?
What it's like to have to ask Bill Belichick, hey, I got to go try to play the Olympics.
I was like waiting for his response, and right away, though, he was like,
which NFL players should play rugby? I think Patrick Mahomes would be a good rugby player.
Bro, Patrick Mahomes can't run.
And then we wrap it up by filling out an Olympic team using what I think, biasly, best athletes in the world, NFL football players. Stick around for the very end of this episode. Let's go. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. August 2016, Teodoro Stadium, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
After 92 long years, rugby is back for the games of the 31st Olympiad.
And the men's Eagles Sevens have gold on their mind.
This is the 2016 Summer Olympics Rugby Sevens.
Hell yeah. Welcome to Games with Names. We have a very special episode today. You know, this is a podcast where we talk about games, specific games. But on this specific podcast, we're going to go deeper, not just into one game, but a bunch of games of the 2016 Summer Olympics. And we're going to explain the game. This is going to be a platform for the game that we're about to talk about with a unbelievable studly two-sport guy. We're going to talk about rugby with Nate Ebner. Welcome to the show, Nate. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, in one sentence, why did you pick these games? Why'd you pick these games of the 2016 Summer Olympic Rugby Sevens matchups?
I think there was a lot at stake. I'd say that's pretty much what I'm thinking about when I see all the games with names that you guys do. We do a lot of football. We had to, give rugby some love. And for me, this 2016 year, going off of an AFC championship, lost to Denver, 2-point conversion. You remember that.
I fucking remember.
And then just going straight into the summer to try to make this team on a long shot and go through that experience to follow that up with the Super Bowl against the Falcons. That was just 2016 was the year. So this was, rugby hadn't been in the Olympics for almost 100 years. Last Olympic rugby appearance we saw was in like 1924.
Wow.
So for it to be back, this was it. This is what we got to talk about.
Is this the greatest set of games of all time?
If the outcome was different, maybe I could make that argument, but it wasn't the outcome we wanted.
Hey, Nate, we ask all our guests. Now, what's life looking like these days? New dad?
Yeah, new dad. That's mostly what life is looking like.
Congratulations. Got a little baby girl dad Nate.
Yeah, baby girl. She's beautiful. She's awesome. She's pretty great, but, early mornings.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of diapers.
Lots of diapers. Now, do you have the diaper situation like
mastered,
handled right? Where you just lift their little legs up, you put that thing, you open it up with like a little T.
Mastered.
And you drop that thing, bop, bop.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a self clock going on how quickly.
So you're like pit crewing it.
Yeah, exactly.
I always try
Formula
to compete
One.
with myself too.
Formula
you got
One.
to. Now, what's your pit time? What's your diaper time?
I'd say under 30 seconds is what I'm shooting for.
It's good. It's good. My mom was pretty fucking fast. I'll tell you that right now.
You know, but I'm starting to get a wiggler.
Yeah, a wiggler.
I'm getting a lot of fighting, a lot of kicking, a lot of rolling over, not cooperating.
Yeah.
She won't stay on the jack, you know. So
sometimes you got a hog tire.
Yeah, that's what we do. So yeah, there's been a lot of that.
Claw the little legs. Hey, what are you doing over there? You ever get peed on yet?
Oh, absolutely. Every time I take her to go get a bath.
Oh my God.
I'm holding her. It's like it's time to pee.
So I'll tell you one quick story about my introduction to like being a dad. Daughter Lily comes in and I have her in Boston and it's like nap time. And you know, I seen in the movies you just put kids in a big T-shirt, right, with a diaper. You're good. I throw in there. I soon learned that you should always have pants on the kid because I walk in like 45 minutes later and she shit everywhere and took her diaper off and was just standing up, like looking at me at like 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, like knowing she did something wrong in her big ass shit T-shirt filled with shit everywhere. You always keep a pant on the diaper so they can't just rip it off. That's what I'm getting down to.
I'm going to bank that.
It was just, I almost threw up so much.
She's pulling at those straps. I could see that happening.
That's why you got to put the little things on.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I tried to do like natural thing. I thought it'd be comfortable for her.
Appreciate that wisdom. You know, that's what that is wisdom.
Yeah. So, what you're in Ohio right now, Columbus?
I'm in Columbus. Try to help my Buckeyes when I can with, you know, keeping a distance where I can too, because I'm not trying to get into all that too heavy. But it's hard not to with an organization like that to you know, help where I can, you know, and you love ball and you got a bunch of young, eager guys that have a chance to do something special. So try to be around that. Working out with my boy John Simon, rolling around doing jiu-jitsu with him. He did a world tournament in Vegas.
John Simon. Of course John Simon did that.
Yeah, he did. He tore his tricep in his first match. Like in 30 seconds in, he was so pissed. I feel bad for him, but he's pretty good at it, though.
I bet you. That's what he did. He set the edge. He used his arms.
He says, I can still set the edge. I'm waiting for him to call me. He's like, I'm still ready to set the edge.
He can set the fucking edge.
Yeah, he loves that. But, yeah, doing that. I am working with a tech company in the private aviation space, centered around, you know, empowering brokers to be more efficient all the way around.
AI?
Give them more options. Yep. AI. It's called Goodwin.
AI. And, Excel, spreadsheets, emails, AI.
And I'm working with a brokerage called Fly 1200 as a VP of sales. So I'm working with them there. If you need a flight, give me a shout. Yeah. And then, you know, outside of that,
money, bro.
Huh?
Slot receiver money, not that much.
PJ money. I feel you. And then, you know, working on a little movie script for, you know, the book I wrote in 2018 or 19, whatever that was. And
yeah.
That's been a fun project.
Awesome. What now?
And I'm doing some broadcasting here soon with some rugby stuff too. So
getting into TV.
You know, a little bit here and there.
So like, do you have like a key card at Ohio State? Do you still go work out at that gym?
Yeah, fingerprint.
So do you have fingerprint?
Fingerprint. I'm in the system.
Are you in the system? So it's like anyone who's associated with Ohio State, can you always go back? Like AJ Hawk can go back?
Well, AJ Hawk can go back.
Yeah.
But AJ Hawk is the dude.
Is he? Yeah, he is.
You know, he's one of the ultimate dudes. No, not really. I mean, they're pretty particular about it, but
who's one of the Ohio State pros that can't go back?
What about Cardell Jones? Could Cardell get in there?
Yeah, but not to work out. Cardell's in there, you know, mingling, rubbing shoulders.
Does Urban Meyer have the key card?
Does he Herb?
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves Herb. He won a national championship. And you know John Simon. You know, there's Tim Tebow, but John Simon is right there on Urban Meyer's. I mean, John Simon is adored by Herbs.
Is John Urban?
Oh, he is.
Is John Simon Urban?
He was with him his senior year, and Herb loves John, and everybody loves John. He's a good dude. He works hard and all that. But he was, you know, big in the culture of that undefeated season when Urban first came in. But we were suspended from the previous year, so they didn't get to go to a national championship.
Oh.
But anyways, yeah, a lot of guys.
So that was because of the autographs?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Terrell Pryor.
Could he get back in?
I don't think so.
Oh, key card not working. Oh,
no. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in control of the administration on who's allowed in and not, but I would say probably not.
Yeah.
But no, there's, you know, not, I mean, myself and John, Bobby Carpenter, there's not a lot of people there, but
Bobby Carpenter's the mayor.
Yeah,
is he the mayor?
He is the mayor. Yeah.
Fucking Bobby. Bobby Carpenter always. Remember how much court he used to just hold in the locker room?
Dude, he does that now.
All day.
Between him and John, I'm like, guys, like, can we work out? Like,
I mean,
that's what we're here to do.
Bobby Carp, man.
The conversation.
Probably the jackest ginger you'll ever see.
He would argue he's not a ginger.
But he kind of has it in him.
Yeah.
He's blonde?
Dude,
is he just
Dude, he's like 40-something, and he
looks young.
He's ripped up.
Yeah. I mean, he works hard. He's always worked his ass off.
I don't know if he's got any assistance in that, but he does work hard. He does work hard, though. He's a great dude.
Now, you got to play for Ohio State. You grew up in Dublin, Ohio. So how did you get introduced to rugby? Because you think of football. You think of Ohio, you think of Ohio State.
Yep.
You think of Ohio, you don't think rugby.
No.
Where does this rugby background come from, Nate?
The junk man himself, my dad.
Your pops.
Yeah. So my dad, we have a family-owned junkyard in Springfield.
How long has it been there?
Since the 1860s or even 1830s. Early
1830s.
Something like that. Somewhere in there. It's been around for quite
130 years.
Something like that. I don't know.
What's it called?
Ebner's Auto Parts. Ebner and Sons Auto Parts, actually.
Hell yeah.
But it's like right downtown too, like in the middle of the city. Like there's just a junkyard. So it doesn't fit. But anyways, he played football in high school, found his way to rugby in Minnesota, just became a 80s, 70s, 80s rugby guy, like a culture guy that, they'd play out in the fields. They didn't care. They had a great time playing. He just loved, his thing about rugby was, he wanted to get his hits in, and he said, where else can you go, beat the shit out of somebody and not go to jail? So that's why he played rugby.
Yeah.
And, he introduced me to the game at a young age. I played a lot of sports. We were a really good squash player at a young age because we just did so much random stuff. But,
squash?
Yeah, squash. Like racket game. Like it's like racquetball, but the ball doesn't fly around, so you got to run a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did a lot of stuff, but obviously I gravitated.
Badminton? You're probably really good at badminton.
Yeah, but that, you just can't really get that thing moving like you can a squash ball.
Yeah.
But like, I gravitated towards rugby. I was obviously turned out to be a decent athlete, and, any game at the highest level, you have to have an IQ for it.
Yeah.
And, I think that's why you see so much struggle with a lot of athletes transitioning, whether it be a football player trying to play rugby or a lot of, rugby guys trying to get into that international program in the NFL. It's just the IQ is so high at that level. But, I was introduced to this game at 6. Most American rugby players start 15, 16 in high school at the earliest. So I played my whole life. So the IQ was always there, turned out to be a decent athlete. Very quickly was on the junior national team at 16 of flying around the world playing rugby and missing high school for months at a time, and just became very good at a very young age. And at that point, I started to see a path for me, as a rugby player. And I kind of, in high school, I didn't play any football, not at all. Last time I played football was in like 7th or 8th grade. And I just became very serious about it and was like full time.
Yeah.
And then I found my way to Ohio State.
Why? How?
I grew up in
you just
Columbus, Ohio. You don't want to go anywhere else but Ohio State. I thought about going to some other schools because there were better schools for rugby, but, I thought I could change the Ohio State landscape of rugby. But I had one more junior World Cup. I was in college because they changed it from U19. So I went to my first junior World Cup in Dubai in 2006. I was like the youngest player in the tournament. I was like just turned 16.
Yeah.
And it's under 19s. And then I played, the next one, it was in 2007 in Ireland. And then they changed it to U20s. And then I played in Wales in my final one when I was a freshman in college. And then I kind of found myself at Ohio State, done playing high-level international rugby, and now I'm here playing club rugby versus.
Why were you done?
Because the age grade stuff had ended. So
is there pros?
There were pros, and there was the men's side, but I would have had to leave school, and I told my parents I'd get my degree.
Yeah.
So here I am, just kind of done with the international World Cups and stuff. Just got done playing South Africa. 20 other 26-man roster were already under professional contract, and then I'm playing like Indiana, and the guys I'm playing with are more worried about the after party than the game. And I just got really frustrated really fast because, I've worked so hard. I'm playing against some of the best players in the world, and I'm taking it pretty seriously. And I just felt like I'm not getting any better here, And so then I started to look around, and it was kind of a perfect storm because.
So the Ohio State team.
What are you talking about?
You're talking
rugby?
About, yeah. Who the guys are talking about after parties? What was that? The Ohio State rugby?
Yeah, the rugby team was
the club team.
The club team was more worried about.
Yeah.
What we were doing.
So you
after
wanted real structure.
I wanted structure. I wanted to win. I wanted to go to nationals.
Yeah.
I wanted all that stuff, and I didn't feel like I had that coming back to me.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like me versus everyone at times when I would play, and that's just not how you play that game.
Yeah.
So I'm at Ohio State. I'm in my sophomore year. Done with the Junior World Cup stuff.
Now, is there a buzz on the campus about your world champion stuff?
Not even a cricket.
Not a cricket.
Yeah.
So you're walking down the hallways and Trestle's right there. You rub shoulders with him. Oh, hey, sorry, son.
Yeah, get out of my way.
Yeah, get out of my way, man. The bathroom's that way, dude.
No, he'd be the best. He'd be like, "Excuse me, young man.
Yeah.
How you doing?" And then ask me all about myself. But no, you're right. Not a cricket. So, and I didn't care. I really didn't. I knew it was kind of a niche thing, and I knew what I was going for. But I started to realize I would have had to play professionally overseas, and I didn't want to leave the United States. I loved America. All the traveling I did showed me real quickly how great of a country we have, how much I appreciate it. And I really didn't want to go to France and learn French and play over there.
It's
whatever I would have had to do. And
hard language.
So I'm at Ohio State playing club rugby in the fall, my sophomore year, just starting to look around because I need something else. I need more. And, like I said, it was a perfect storm. I'm at Ohio State. It's the granddaddy of them all. There's only a couple other schools football-wise that can compete on that scale.
Yeah, it's a fucking big school.
And you can't escape it.
No, you can't. I went to Kent State, and everyone would leave our games to go watch the Ohio State game in their dorm. Right. I know. I understand.
Yeah, so I'm surrounded by it. Like you just had mentioned, I'm one of the better, rugby players in the country. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
And here we are. Ohio State's football is the greatest thing in the world. I thought about playing football my senior year in high school. I kind of got talked out of it because I was really building something for rugby and chose not to. And we won the Division I state championship that year, so I missed out on that. And everything was leading me towards, fuck it, I'm going to walk onto the football team.
Yeah.
So like the last conversation I actually had with my dad, we used to go work out at the ACC. I was like nervous about telling him. He introduced me to rugby. I'm going to be one of the best rugby players, blah, blah, blah. And now here I am about to tell him, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to go walk onto the football team on some pipe dream. And, I broke that to him and kind of told him, I want to do this because I want to go to the NFL. And he was very receptive right away. He was like, if you're going to do this, do it with everything you have, no distractions. We're not going to play rugby half the time. And, you're going to go all in with football and we'll try to give it everything you have. And rugby will always be there if football doesn't work out. And the next day he was murdered at the junkyard.
Oh, man.
So that was like the last conversation I had with him. And then obviously had a tough time with that. Dropped out for that winter quarter because I was struggling. And just I'll go into it, but my mom was like the most pivotal moment of my life. I remember I was sitting on the couch, just kind of zombied out. Dad's gone, and mom comes in tears, and she's just like, Nate, like you gotta get up and go. Like your dad would hate to see this ruin your life. You gotta live a life you'd be proud of. And she was crying, saying that to me, and I had some friends that lost parents and whatnot, and a lot of parents want to coddle their kids in those situations, but for her to have the strength to say something to me that, not necessarily what I wanted to hear or what she wanted to say, but what I needed, she did that. And that was the moment where I kind of woke up and I said, fuck it, let's go. I need to do this thing out like we had talked about. And then like literally a month later, I walked onto the football team at Ohio State.
Wow.
But I was a man on a mission. It was not like I want to put the jersey on type of deal. Those walk-on workouts were crazy experience, bro. There's so many kids. There's like 80 kids there, and half of them have their favorite player's jersey on. Like they had no business being there. And, here, I was playing some of the best athletes in the world, just a different sport, so I could run and stuff, you know. But I'd say that was probably one of the most humbling things I ever did because I was a really good athlete. But I knew nothing about football. Cover 2, cover 1,
so you knew
nickel base, nothing. So that was hard. And for me, I walked on the winter of my sophomore year, so I was going into my junior year. I only had 2 or 3 years of eligibility. So I was like, I got to figure this out quick. And the best way for me to get on the bus was special teams. Oh. Because it was like, just put them on kickoff and let them eat. And I ate in college, and that's kind of what got me on the bus. I'd say, looking back on it, was more political at Ohio State trying to play defense than it was in the league because we have such shorter numbers, and you got to do everything in the NFL. And Ohio State, here I am, a walk-on, senior or whatever it is. I'm taking some highly recruited kid spot. It's like, maybe not. So it was tough. I played 3 snaps of defense at Ohio State. I always got to mention I got a sack on one of those.
Hell yeah. Let's go. Sack daddy.
Yeah, big time. High percentage, very high percentage. But no, special teams, was a way that got me going. And Vrabel was a defensive coach at the time, my senior year. And, I think I had that like dog look of my tape. And then my pro day came about and I balled and got me drafted.
Got you drafted.
Found my way to the NFL. And that's kind of how it got started.
That's crazy. So
rugby was on pause. I never thought I would play as long as I did in the NFL. Should I keep going with how we got back to rugby? How we got to this?
No, I'm just sitting here thinking, man, like, I didn't realize you didn't know any football, like cover 2, cover 1, 0. I thought you played a little high school at least.
Didn't play a down of high school football. I didn't know anything.
Special teams and just came natural. Go get ball.
They were just like, kick it off and go tackle the guy. And I was like, I got that.
And you understood body leverage and
yes, I was a very good tackler.
Using side language
because of rugby. I mean,
sideline.
When I had my first spring ball with Ohio State, I could not believe the way these kids were tackling.
Yeah.
Especially like safety coming up on like a screen and just flying with his head down. Dude, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the coaches weren't saying anything. I couldn't believe.
Different type of tackling.
It's totally different. I mean,
now, when did you learn? Like, so you came out in an open, like, it was just a fucking tryout.
Yeah, this was not a preferred
was this
walk.
Hey, like Rudy, like you put your name on a chalkboard.
100%.
Like Charlie from
100%.
Business 100.
Yeah, you basically had to sign up for the walk-on workout. They made the dynamic warm-up so hard that most of the guys, they were like doing high knees like it was a competition. And I played rugby at a high level. I knew it was the warm-up, and I'm like, this is crazy. So I kind of chilled out. Watching these dudes send it on some high knees. It was so funny. And these dudes were tapped before we even ran 40s. Like, people were pulling muscles in the dynamic warm-up. It's so funny, dude. I mean, it's not, but
when did you? So you go through that and you do the 40 and you do the tryout stuff.
Yep.
They clearly see you're good. You're an athlete.
They picked 15 of us.
They picked 15 out of how many?
Probably 75, 80 kids.
So 15 of you.
And then they said, you guys don't deserve to work out with the team until you earn it. So we went through 2 weeks of walk-on workouts. Now, I played in the Olympics in a very high cardiovascular, hard sport. Outside of training for that, the hardest 2 weeks of my life was those walk-on workouts. They tried to break.
What did they do?
One thing they made us do was walking lunges across the field to the sideline and back. And no one could drop a dumbbell. And we were doing them with like 75-pound dumbbells, 65 and 75. They only had those 2 weights. And if somebody dropped a dumbbell, we had to start over.
Yeah.
And I remember I would get halfway done and somebody dropped it. We had to all start over. And then we got to the point where I was like, all right, if you're going to drop it, just to like sit on your legs, like me and one other kid could get it done. And then we ran out and we held the dumbbells to give them a break. And like, that's how we had to get through it. But I could not walk after that. Dude.
No.
That was killer. And we would just do stuff like the team would work out at 6. So we'd have to be in there at like 4:45, 5 in the morning. Just like, it was terrible. So we started with 15 of us. And by the end of those 2 weeks, there were 3 of us left.
Who? You?
It was me, this kid named Maxwell, and Grant Deziak.
Did they? Now were they?
And there was a kid named Rourke too, so maybe 4 of us.
Now, when you 3 make it,
there might have been more, but then by the time we got through spring ball and actually into camp, there were.
When's the first time you're putting on a fucking helmet?
In spring.
So, like, did you know how to put on your jock and stuff?
No, I did not. I had trouble with the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
The shoulder pads was weird to me. And then getting used to like running with that was so weird. I just couldn't believe it. Like people did that. So.
And then when was your first moment you're like, I could play with these guys? Because you're probably humbled as fuck when you first got out there.
Yeah, the way like doing DB drills, because I played safety, was like very foreign. You know, we did a couple goal line like Texas, Oklahoma drills where you got to go. Like it didn't make sense. I didn't understand we were on the goal line when we were doing the drill. And in rugby, it's like if you got to give ground, you give ground until you just don't let them through. Yeah. It's football. It's like no giving ground. You got to go stick the guy. And like I had a couple times where I got like fucking teed off on it. Yeah. Like I don't understand this concept. So I just changing your mindset and all that. And I think it was hard at first because I was treated as a walk-on. You know, all the guys would go, the freshmen that are coming in would go, and then it'd be my turn to do a rep, and the whistle would blow, the period would change, and I'd be ready to go, and everybody would run and leave me there, and I'm in a stance ready to have the coach throw me the ball, and they all just leave. I'm like, fuck these guys. Yeah. And then I'd go and stand on the sideline trying to get reps on scout team, and, you know, I'm getting ready to go out for the last rep, period would end. Yeah. You know, and I just would stand there holding my helmet. And then I eventually had a talk with one of the coaches, like, get me on here. Like, so they put me on special teams. And then I could just, you know, we had all these high recruits and I didn't give a shit. So I would be blowing people up, dude. Yeah. I was not the one you wanted to see in practice. Because, like I said, I talked to my dad about this. This was a goal. I was on a mission. I wasn't there to just put the jersey on. So some of these young kids or guys that, you know, wide receivers or whatever that don't want to play special teams, and then here we are on like a Thursday, which is like a Friday for us. Yeah. And then I'm coming through, dude. Like, hell yeah. You know, I was that guy.
Were there any guys on like any of the fucking scholarship guys, studs on that team? Was there anyone that like put their arm around you and saw how hard you worked and saw something and kind of would talk you up? Did you have any, like, you know what I mean? Any of like the big name guys? Because like when I got in the league, I was kind of in that same situation, playing new position and everything. Mm-hmm. And like Fred Taylor came up to me once when he saw I was like mentally going crazy just on, you know, not getting reps. And one day you'd get one rep and you'd fuck that rep up maybe, or you know what I mean? So like you're playing math in your head all day when you're a walk-on, probably like a late round guy in the NFL. 100%. So, you know, who was the guy that like, was there any guys like that, or is this just fucking Lone Ranger?
You know, Kirk Coleman was someone that I looked up to, and he helped me a lot because that was my first year, was his senior year. You know, Boom Heron was someone I became close with. The running back, Devere Posey, the wide receiver. Yeah. Those guys were more my class. John Simon, obviously. John Simon. He's getting a lot of shout outs today. John Simon. But yeah, I mean, I had to earn it.
One thing I think about John Simon, though, where was he January 6th? Where was he? He knows what I'm talking
probably about. Probably in the weight room. He was rolling around with some guys doing jiu-jitsu, you know, knowing him. But yeah, exactly. But no, there were a lot of good guys there that helped, but I think I had to earn my stripes in that locker room. And I think my first year we started 2-2, and Coach Trussell actually asked me to speak to the team. And, you know, we're 2-2. That's not how Ohio State starts. And here I am. My dad just died like 4 months ago. And Coach Trussell's asked me, you know, you can't say no to Coach Trussell. Yeah. Still can't find a way to say no to Coach Trussell. Yeah. So I got up there, and I think I told my story, and guys kind of like, oh, I get why this dude's so serious. And then, you know, I kind of, my play spoke for itself, my intensity, how hard I worked. And I think I just gained a lot of respect early on. Like, you know, when you're in college, you have like the weight room, they'll split you up into two groups. And by the end of the workout, they'll be like, pick your guy. We're going to do like a one-on-one for the whole team. And, you know, I was like a first year walk on, and, you know, they were picking me to do the push-up contest versus, you know, Kirk Coleman, the senior 5-star recruit, the big guy. And, you know, so I had earned it through my work ethic, because they knew like he's going to give it all. So, and then as years went on, I, you know, eventually got put on scholarship. I was, you know, kind of a leader on the team. Yeah. And once it got going, I mean, you know.
Came from the bottom. Now you're here.
Exactly.
No, seriously, that's a dog.
Yeah. And then the NFL, that first rookie year, you know, when they give you that playbook, I knew I wasn't going to just make it by being another guy that just came in on special teams, and I was content. We had some guys that got drafted that way. Scotty O would draft, and then they just refused to like really put the effort towards learning the defense. Yeah. And I was like, that's not going to make it. And, you know, for me, with the conversation with my dad, I wanted to make it stick. I didn't want to just go to training camp and say I played in the NFL. Like, I wanted to make it. I wanted to get to a second contract or something like that. And so that rookie year, Matt Patricia was big on helping me learn the defense as much as he didn't have to. Brian Flores was a first-year safeties coach, so him and I grew together a lot. Like, I had a lot of help. Obviously, Bill was like, we're going to use this guy. So, Bill gave me more attention than the coaches at Ohio State did. So I knew I had it there. I just need to put the effort in to learn. And, I had some moments, but I think by the time I actually figured it out, probably third or fourth year in the league, like, you're one of our special teams dudes, like you and Slate. And that's kind of where I was. And then, you also had Devin McCourty and Patrick Chung, who were staples for the longest time. And that was good for me because I just could back them up, and played a lot more safety in my first game in the NFL than my entire college career. So I ended up, playing a lot, but special teams was the role that got me there, and that's really where I defined my career in the NFL.
100%. I mean, it's the more you can do when you're a teamer. And, I was kind of a teamer for like 4 years of my career. 3 years of my career. I wasn't like a core teamer like you guys. Core teamer plays on everything. Except field goal if you're a smaller guy. Yeah. I was always kickoff, punt return, and then I had a situation where I would be PP on punt, if someone went down. And because of that, we drafted Nate. Because what's his name got hurt, and I was playing PP, and then 2 years later we we drafted you, and then you became the PP. But being a core teamer, you explain that mentality. Like, to people, they don't understand. Like, explain the life of a special teamer where your job is maybe 16 plays a game, 17 plays a game, 5 plays a game, periodically through the game, sudden change, quick, out of nowhere when you have to do it, and then knowing what you have to do to back up other guys. Like, explain a life as a special teamer.
Yeah, I think the most stressful part is probably you're on the list of what seems to be the more replaceable guys on the team. So you have like stress there because it's like, they could get rid of me easier. But I think, the other stress is I need to know everything on defense as the free safety and the strong safety and the dime, because sometimes I'd actually play dime, and then the big nickel if we had that in. So I need to know all that, because if one person gets hurt, I'm in on somewhere and all that stuff. And on top of that, as like a play caller for the special teams, like the PP and stuff, those are one play series, like high stress, one moment, full speed, and you got to be right.
Every time.
Yeah. And it's the hardest part about playing was it's not like you go out on defense and I'm the free safety and it's a run play and I kind of get my feet wet and, I'm backpedaling back there, or, you release out to the outside and they throw a screen to the other side of the field. Like, it's on, then once that ball's kicked, you got to go full speed and hammer down. Say?
It's controlled chaos.
Yeah, it's controlled chaos. He said a lot of things.
It's a crazy thing.
So, it was balls to the wall, and it's like anything else in the NFL, it's a production thing. So you got to not only be accurate, never make a mistake, because mistakes in the kicking game are like game changers. Like you block the wrong guy on punt and it's blocked, like 90% chance of losing the game if you give up a block punt.
Crazy, they change.
So, you have that, but at the same time, you got to be productive. And it was tough for me in a position, I had to do most of my work on kickoff and then, PP where I could, but like, you're not a gunner where you get that, just go eat the whole time. You got to sit here and get everybody right. And I think that's something for me that I, really took ownership on. Bill was big on, ownership with, the leaders on, offense, and Tom and you guys making sure everybody knew what they had, and the defense with Dev and High and all those guys, like making sure everybody knew. And I've kind of felt that same responsibility with the kicking game. And I think it was easy for me to take that role seriously when you have a coach that, remember we'd watch games after the game on, Monday or whatever, and he'd show special teams clips like more than offense and defensive clips, because I think a lot of times he wanted that buy-in from the team, but a lot of times, the offense would go do their offensive meetings, and if they didn't see this from him, they weren't going to see all the work Slate was doing, Brandon Bold and Brandon Kings, some of these guys that were making plays. So he would make it a point to really show that stuff, and that always made me feel good about it and made me feel like my job was important. And it doesn't feel like, you have to be humble to play special teams when you playing a Bill Belichick team because he shows that same level of urgency and importance with the kicking game as he does with anything else. And so, it made me feel like my role really was important, and I kind of became a leader in that, and, just obviously grew. But yeah, that one play series is electric, and you just got to go. And it's literally every play is like kind of like a little fight.
It is.
And I will say this about you. When you were back there returning, though, it was just like something about the interior guys were like, dude, like Eddles is back there. Like, we got a chance. And I'm dead ass, because you get guys back there like, they're going to fair catch it.
Yeah.
Or, they're kind of like a one cut to the sideline and they're going to get their 6 or 8 and run out of bounds. Like, you were trying to hit home runs every time. And I remember, dude, I would just, when I knew you were back there, it would give me something a little more like to try to win, because I'm like, this is going to be a clip. Eddles is going to take it to the crib. I'm going to have a sweet block. I remember just blasting somebody, got called for a block in the back, like, one time, just trying so hard because I remember
at the Chicago game, or is that was Chung?
I think no, that was at you didn't house it or nothing, but I smoked Buddy. But it was like I got called for a block in the back. I had very few of those, so I didn't care. But like,
you can never as a return. You get mad, and I would joke around, but you can never get mad at a guy working his ass off for you. Like, if a guy's holding or blowing someone up, like, I know the 2 guys that got 2 of my touchdowns called back, Dane Fletcher and Patrick Chung. Am I mad? No, because you know that they're working their ass off for you to get your shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can never get mad at a guy trying hard.
Yeah, but man, like, you talked about you get few opportunities, and I played on field goal blocks, so I'd get about 20 to 30 snaps a game, but a lot of them, like, how many, punt returns are fair catches, just because, we're either rushing the punt or whatever. And so a lot of those plays don't come up. So when you get the opportunity, it's like, it's got to happen. You know what I mean? So, you send it, but we were part of we had some really good units with you back there returning. And then in 2019, we set a franchise record for blocked punts in a season.
Yeah.
I just remember being in there with Joe Judge. That was the thing. I would just break down the previous week the team we're going to play, and I'd be like, I think this guy's the fish, and I think we should do this, this, and this. And then on Monday, me, him, and Slate would sit in there, and we'd talk about, what we want to do. And a little bit on Slate there, Joe would come up with Joe came up with some really good stuff, but he also came up with some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And he'd ask Matt, and Matt would be like, yeah, I see what you're saying there. And then I'd have to be the guy that'd be like, Matt, you don't believe that.
There's no fucking
We're not
way
doing
we're
that.
doing
And then I had to actually be the asshole. And then Joe'd be like, what? And I'd be like, no, Joe, like, we can't do that.
Explain that more.
And then Slate would be like, yeah, I see what Nate's saying. Like, and I'm like, Slate, come on, man.
So that Joe Judge, the special teams coordinator. So when are you guys talking? This is before.
This is usually on Monday.
So Monday before.
Monday or Tuesday, I'd come in.
You guys would come in and have a powwow?
Yeah. And when I went to New York with Joe, it just became a habit that I would have the breakdown ready on Monday, and I would give him 3 to 4 rushes that I think we should do, and then him and I would talk the next day, and then we'd install it going afterward. But we started that in New England.
Yeah.
And but sometimes on some, like, he'd have some kickoff returns, I remember, that were just like insane. I'm like, Matt, we can't do this, and don't sit here and co-sign this.
You remember what Bill used to say? And Joe's one of them, I guess, because he'd always, look, this fucking special team coordinator is going to do some triple fucking reverse, this, that. He's just trying to get his name in the paper. Like, you remember he would say shit like that? Yeah. Joe would be trying to design shit to get fucking ESPN highlights, bro. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, shit, franchise record in block punts. Next year, he's the head coach of the New York Giants. I know.
Now, what's your best Slate story in those meetings or something or anything? Because Slate is I love Slate.
When I talk about Slate and myself, it's usually the Batman and Robin, and he was Batman for sure. But Slate was always like our spiritual flag bearer, and give us the rah and the make you feel
biblical.
Yeah, and then I was the guy that's like, hey, that's wrong. Like, you need to do it this way. I was that guy. And we played off of each other very well. He was the put his arm around you. I was the, you're just not going to make it here if you can't do this. Yeah. Like, that's the type of conversations I'd have.
Asshole. Good cop, bad cop.
But with Slate, man, I got, from the things that would come out of that guy's mouth on the field, how good of a person he is, he was capable of some stuff. But My favorite stories are definitely in those meeting rooms with Joe, when Joe would come up with some crazy stuff. And I'd look at Matt because I knew he was going to just, yeah, Joe, yeah, I can see what you're saying. And then I just have to be like, Matt, we aren't doing that. And then I'm like in front of Joe, and yeah, Slate's so funny, bro. But me and him, I mean, we went through every play together for the whole time I was there. We were in every meeting together. We went through the coaches together. You know, we leaned on each other a lot. You know, I would do everything I can as a play caller on punt to try to release him as best as I could. You know, that punt protection got very elaborate towards the end of my career because I knew what was going on so well. Yeah. And usually you get a lot of young guys that just send the snapper right, send the snapper left. You know, it's 6-man box or it's 8-man box or whatever. And
solid.
Yeah, solid left.
Solid left.
And
New York. San Fran.
But we would get to the point where I could put Slater in motion. You know what I mean?
Don't make me bring in a Saint. Don't make me bring in a dude. I know PP calls, Nate.
No, I'm talking about.
I'm
talking about.
Hey, easy. Hey, bring him in. We got corner roll over here. I see that over there. Hey, Izzo, you ain't getting that corner roll. Come on, all right.
No, I'm talking about letting Slate run. I'm talking about letting Slate run.
Yeah, no, just fucking
get him on that gunner motion, let him run. But no, we did a lot together. The things that stick out in my mind were those, you know, outside of the field, you know, other than playing in Miami in September, running down on the first 2 kickoffs, sitting on the bench while, you know, you guys are out there, and we just look at each other like, fuck, are you tired? And he's like, yeah, are you? And I'm like, yeah. You know, like with that full tilt in September in Miami.
September in Miami is always tough. We lost that game.
We lost every game in Miami, dude.
Why? What was it?
I don't know, dude. I just remember a couple times they'd have the shades, they'd have the sprayers, and I'd hear Matt breathing. You know, he had that asthma or whatever. And I'd be like, you good, dog? And we'd look at each other. He'd give me the big eyes.
His hailer's over there. Stole it.
He'd give those big eyes. You know how he did? And I'd be like, yeah, me too, bro. You're good. But we went through it, man. He was a great player to aspire to be, to aspire to compete with, and you know, to lean on each other as leaders as we got older. And you know, very thankful for him. He's my guy.
Yeah, he's the best teammate ever. We'll be right back after this quick break. Hey, I'm going to talk about something serious for a minute, something personal. Right now, in our country, hate is at an all-time high. It's like we're going backwards and hate is winning. It's out of control. So many different people, so many different groups are facing too much hate, and it's enough. We need to stop and regroup, change the momentum as a team, because that's what we are. Everyone in this country is on the same team, so we need to start acting like it. And when a team can't get it together, what do? They call a timeout. We need to call a timeout against hate. Let's think about what we say and do. And when we see hate, when we see someone doing or saying those things we know are wrong and hateful, we need to call it out. Visit standuptoallhate.org to help. And join me in calling a timeout against hate by following @What'sUpWithHate or posting the blue square emoji. What's up with Bill fucking drafting and getting guys that are two-sport athletes? You, Steve Neal, fucking Hogan. What's going on? Versatility?
I can't speak for Bill, as he would say.
What's your best Bill story? Anything with you and Bill?
Bill story? I mean, that takes me to the Olympics, honestly.
What is it? So, yeah, how does this conversation go?
So, obviously, you know, rugby was still in the background of my mind. I'm on the Patriots. I thought I would play in the NFL for 2 or 3 years and get booted, and I'd go back to playing rugby. And here I am, I'm making it work, right? We win the Super Bowl versus Seattle. We come back, you know, 2000, and rugby got announced into the Olympics in like 2009. So it was always on my radar. Like,
yeah.
It's going to be in the Olympics.
We all used to bust your balls about it, right?
But we never, you know, we had to still qualify. I didn't think all that. 2015 rolls around. We just won the Super Bowl. USA qualifies for the Olympics. And I'm like, oh shit, like they're going. And at that point I was obsessed. You know, we'd be in meetings and I'd be daydreaming about, you know, just dicing dudes up.
Yeah, laku. Scissors.
Scissors, switch man. But no, I just kind of became obsessed with it. And then in 2015, we made it to the AFC Championship versus Denver. You know, obviously that game didn't go how we wanted.
75 and sunny.
And within like 3 days, and I was in a contract year. So I was going into my second contract after that. I knew Bill would be calling pretty soon. And, eventually he does. And we get the contract stuff figured out. And I'm like, I got to talk to him about this Olympic thing. I was really worried about it because like previously, like when I was a rookie, Jeff Demps, you remember him?
Yeah.
He wanted to go to the Olympics. And Bill was like, you ain't playing football if you go to the Olympics. And he went. And I think he actually was on the 4x100.
Yeah, 4x1.
But he never played football again after that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got a good thing going here. Like, I don't want to mess this up. And
you made plays though, Jeff Dempsey.
He was
too young. He didn't have enough time in
the
program
but
yet.
That's what I had seen from him. I saw Bill say no, and I'm like, I'm not so sure. So, I'm worried about it. But I call Bill. We talk about
now. How do you text him or you call him?
Well, he called me about the contracts.
So you have his number. So hey, what do you have him saved as? Like Coach BB?
Bill Belichick.
I just have him as Coach BB.
Yeah. Well, whatever works for you.
Yeah. Keep on.
Anyway, so he calls about the contract. We get that square. And then, like, I just remember at the end, I just avoided it the whole conversation. I was like, so, Bill, like, there's this other thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Did he know?
No. And he was like,
no clue. He had no clue the Olympics were even fucking close.
Yeah, he probably didn't even know. And then I was like, he's like, what's up? He's like, what do you got? And I'm like, so, like, rugby is in the Olympics and the USA qualified, and I feel like I got to go do this. And I was like waiting for his response, and right away though he was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And it was just like, "What? Go ahead." And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I know how much rugby means to you, and you'll be representing the country if you make it, and that'd be great. Go for it." And I was just like, "Well, okay." And we hung up, and then like,
were you like, "Is the contract still good?"
Yeah, but so we hung up. And then like an hour or two later, he calls me back and he's like, "Hey, Nate, so this rugby thing, it's not like you're going sailing." I'll never forget that. It's not like you're going sailing. We got to put
it's not like you're going fucking sailing.
Exactly. That's better. And he's like, we got to put something in your contract if something happens to you. And I said, absolutely. But I was at the point where I was expecting a no. And then I was like, I'm doing this anyway. And I was going to come back as a free agent and to go with a contract, I just couldn't have been, I never thought it would work out that way. So I obviously end up going. And then, just to piggyback that, while I actually made the team and stuff, and we can talk about that if you want, but when I played in the Olympics and Bill had you guys stop training camp to watch me in the team room, yeah. I mean, I want to know what your perspective was on that, if you remember it, but for him to do that, because I was one of the guys on the team and it was important, and to stop training camp to do that, and to have everybody wear the Ebner shirts out there like Stevie B made up. Yeah. I mean, and Mr. Kraft's support, just like the Patriots organization and that like brotherhood and support, like first class. They didn't have to do that. Bill didn't have to do that.
No, without a doubt. That was so awesome. I mean, we were so happy for you.
So what was that like when he? Because I'm obviously in Rio, so I wasn't, there. But what you just
we did like one of those movie things. You know what I mean? Where you got a bunch of food and shit.
Yeah.
We all sat in there and we watched it. No one knew what the fuck we were watching, really. Half the dudes are like, "Hey man, what the fuck this shit?
Yeah.
Throw that thing deep." Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was fun. It was a team building moment to support one of our guys.
Yeah.
And Bill was always really good about that, especially if it had something to do with supporting America.
Yeah, it was.
Bill loved the America stuff.
Yeah, he did.
That had to be awesome to have his support, though. Like, that had to be a weight off your shoulder going into transitioning into a mindset of getting into the Olympics. Now, take us through that. How did you try out? Someone call you? Did you fucking call them?
So, I mean, obviously I knew some people because I was playing at a high level in the junior stuff, and everyone knew I left. Rugby lost a good one to football.
Yeah.
So I knew some contacts. Alex Magleby, he's the CEO of the MLR Free Jacks, the minority team that me and Chung are with.
Yeah.
He was a sevens coach before.
I forgot, this is our third team owner.
That's right, baby. Mark Cuban.
Back-to-back MLR champs, though.
Ooh.
We won back-to-back.
Let's
go. But anyways, Mags was a coach before Mike Friday. Mike Friday was the head coach when I was there, and Mags put a call in to Mike saying Nate wants to come. And there have been a number of NFL guys try to go play sevens. You just didn't hear about it because they didn't make it very far.
Yeah.
But
Why?
The fitness is
tough.
I don't think they know what they're getting into. And the IQ thing I told you about.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I played my whole life. I knew how to play the game. But it had been 6 years since I played competitively at Ohio State in the CRC in sevens. And so I hadn't played for 6 years.
And you're playing sevens, not 15s, but you played 15s as a kid. Did you ever play sevens?
Yeah, I played sevens.
Now, what's the difference?
15 on 15 on a soccer field or 7 on 7 on a soccer field?
Oh.
It's that simple, and it's that much space, and it's a lot of running.
A lot of running.
So, especially at the international level, it's insane. So, basically, I put a call into Mags. He talked to Mike Friday. Mike's like, yeah, we'll see. Another football guy. And but I had that rugby background, so I got a little bit more leeway. And a lot of the guys on the team, Zach Test, Danny Barry, you met Danny.
Yeah.
They had all played against me, so they knew I could play a little bit.
Forgot Testy.
Yeah. So,
man, Testy's Olympian.
About 3 or 4 weeks after the AFC Championship, I got the okay from Bill. I'm in Chula Vista. I'm over here and staying in the Olympic.
First day, are you nervous? Because you're coming off a season. You're kind of banged. I mean,
yeah, my thumb was. I did have a surgery on my thumb, but it was more like I knew the fitness, and there's no way to get fit other than just beat yourself down to a pulp and do it again and again and again until all of a sudden you're just fit.
There's no fucking pill.
Yeah.
There's no potion. Yeah. You just got to go fucking condition.
Yeah, that's it.
Remember?
Yeah, that's exactly. There is no pill. And it was just at a whole other level. And I knew what it was going to be like, but it was even more than I probably anticipated. So I get there 4 or 5 weeks after the AFC Championship and they just start beating me down, and I just went through it and I was not in shape. We would do some stuff where I was really strong for 6 seconds, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But they'd be like 3-minute sessions. Danny'd have me folded up by the time we were done. I'd have him at first, and then I just would run out of gas. And I really had to, break through that. And that took 6 to 8 weeks to really get where I needed to get to. And for me to play at the level I wanted to play at, I needed to be fit.
Yeah.
Like you can't play that game, you knew how to play, you're good and all that. If you ain't fit, and none of that happens.
So
you ain't breaking out, you're not cutting out of your, breaks in a 2-minute drill if you're not in shape to do it.
Without a doubt. So explain that to people, the fitness of football compared to rugby.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean.
So it's like dragsters versus Formula One.
It's like, it's like the 100-meter dash, and it's like a 400-meter dash with an up down every 10 yards.
So like hurdles.
Or an up down every 10 yards. It's just the hurdles is too close. It's a lot because you never get a break, and you're constantly going. We'd have 7-minute halves, 14-minute games. You'd run over 2.5 miles in that period while you're tackling people.
Yeah,
it's a lot. So it was really about getting in shape. I'm there for 2 weeks. They send me to Hong Kong to play in this invitational tournament where the main team is playing in the Sevens World Series in Hong Kong, and I'm playing in this, invitational international tournament in some random stadium. I stayed with some random dude from England. They got me on the back of a plane for 15 hours, just like stuck. We're used to like first class. Yeah. I just got the whole experience. I had a
Super Bowl to.
I had a roll with butter on it for my nutrition. I was like, Ted would love this.
Ted.
Yeah.
Some fucking calories, Ted.
So I do this tournament in Hong Kong, and then someone had got hurt. The next week we play in Singapore, and Singapore was my debut with the men's sevens team. And
how was it?
And Singapore was like 105 degrees, and I wasn't fit enough yet. I scored a couple times, but I got smoked a couple times, and I made a couple bad decisions. And I think early on the hardest thing for me was getting out of that football mindset, that Bill Belichick, don't turn the ball over. And you can't play rugby that way. There were a couple times, I remember one time I had Zach Test, I just needed to catch and pass, but I was like, this might not get through. And I kind of held it. And then Buddy smoked me too. And I'm like, looking back on the tape, it's like, you got to let that go. Yeah. And there was just too much football in me to not mess up. That Bill Belichick, don't mess up. And it took me a while first to get fit, but then to let that go. And, once I let that go, about 6 weeks, we had a 6-week long Olympic training camp. It took me all summer to kind of get in there, but we had a tournament in France somewhere. So I'm traveling all over the world all summer while you guys are training. And that tournament in France was like, I kind of let it all hang out because that was kind of my last one. And, then we got to Olympic camp and I was fit. My give a fuck meter was really low because I had to be. And I kind of found myself. And then on Olympic camp, I really was starting to ball. And it kind of got to the point where, there's 30 plus guys. They only picked 12 to make this roster.
Yeah.
And, I hadn't played for a while. I really wasn't coming on yet. It was kind of like, he can play, but he's not. Are these
guys looking at you like, oh, the football guy?
Of course. And then when I come to play football, I was the rugby guy. I was always somebody else. But they definitely were like, he's the NFL guy. I think they were more worried about it than I was at first, but I was just worried about that conditioning.
Yeah.
But anyways, I really came on in that Olympic camp and was like myself, and they were, it was kind of, I had to show that I was more than capable because any question marks, they got to go with the guy who's been there. And I think I got a lot of flack at first from the rugby community, like, oh, this is a publicity stunt to have this Super Bowl kid come in. But then once I started to play and it was like, oh, he's actually legit, it was kind of like we silenced that pretty good in the Olympics. So yeah, man. And then I'd say the biggest mistake of my life, if I have one mistake of my life, one regret, because I don't really live with regrets, that's why I walked onto the football team, because I didn't want to wonder. That's why I went to the Olympics. I didn't want to wonder what it would have been like.
What's the one regret?
One regret is as soon as we were done in Rio, I stayed one day and I ran back to Bill and the Patriots to come to training camp. And that was the biggest mistake I have in my life.
Oh, Rio's a cool city.
How did I should have stayed at least a week. We got some team functions I got to be a part of, and enjoy the Olympic experience. I just got on a plane a day later. I was at training camp.
You just want to hang out at the Olympic Village, didn't you?
Looking back on it, that was a mistake.
How was Olympic Village?
It was crazy. I mean, 8,000 athletes from all over the world. The food hall was the craziest thing because you got countries from everywhere that they don't all eat cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? So you got American station, you got a Chinese station, you got everything for every cuisine because people eat different stuff. I always thought that was funny, but yeah, man, there was just the buildings. It all looked good, but man, nothing worked. The beds were shit. The water, I heard they poured cement down the water pipes of the Australian teams. Their water didn't work. They had to go to another building. It was crazy.
Now, did you walk around the village with your USA gear on?
Oh yeah, that's all you had though was your team gear.
So as Americans, people are looking at you fuck these people, or oh, they're American.
Some of them were and some of them weren't.
Which countries?
How it is. What do you mean?
They said fuck you.
The French.
The French don't like you, huh?
I don't know.
They don't like us.
Maybe it's a rugby thing. I don't know. But the thing in the Olympic Village is trading pins. So you get a bunch of USA Olympic pins. So that's how the players interact with each other is they all want, you try to collect as many pins as you can. Should have collected a few more pins is what I'm saying. But ran back to training camp with you guys. Moses Cabrera's we know you did a lot this summer. We're not going to go too hard on you. I get back. He says that to me. The next day, I'm in full pads doing the bout run for time. And he didn't tell me how far to go because I hadn't done bout runs before. But he just
780.
He just wanted to see where I would get because
where'd you get?
I can't.
Well, he was doing a test ride on you. He wanted to see what rugby training was.
I went well over 100 yards past what we were supposed to. It was close to 900, something like that. I didn't have a pace or nothing. I was just running. And then I was done, and I was like, I'm breathing a little hard. That was kind of hard. And he's like, yeah, you're good. You're no conditioning test. But I ran 100 yards further than we were supposed to.
The bout runs.
What an asshole, though. Why would you make me do that?
So usually the bout run, you have to run for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And you have to 100 back. You just got to keep on running for 3 minutes, but you have to get at least 750 yards in 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's a 740, and it's something like that. And you got to, the skill position had to get there. And I remember I went well over that, 850, something like that. It was
always tough for us because, like Nate said, we're trained for 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off.
Yeah. That was cake for me after what I had done. I thought that was a joke.
Now, are you a better rugby player or a better football player?
That's tough to say. That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I've never been asked that. I mean, it's tough because towards the end of my football career, I feel like I knew what I was doing pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
I had a second team All-Pro year.
You're a great teamer.
Played for a little bit, but I was good at rugby, man. And I think if I had played rugby my whole life, it would have been like, I don't know. I just leaned towards rugby.
Rugby.
You know?
What could an NFL guy learn from rugby? All these laterals. Did you see like Travis Kelce and all these guys doing that? It's like really coming into the game.
I think it's great. I think they could learn a lot from tackling, especially in space. You know, it's like one thing when it's 3rd and 1 and, you know, it's a 2-back set or something and the defensive line's got to take on the guys. But, you know, some of these open field tackling, you know.
Scallop.
We did a lot of really good
Scallop.
We did a lot of really good stuff.
You have your feet in the ground and fucking guy, you're done.
We had a lot of good tacklers too.
I bet.
And with the Patriots.
Oh yeah,
we did some good tackling stuff, and I just think they could learn a lot from tackling. I think a lot of guys could learn what like really being fit is. Yeah. Because you know a lot of guys think they're in shape, but I mean I guess we are for football, but it's just like your ability to never get tired is the greatest feeling in the world.
That is. I mean, I felt like that from like 26, 5 to like 30. Yeah. 29, I started getting tired. Yeah. Like I could see in my conditioning when off season, you start getting tired from injuries or whatever it is, or you're older. Yeah. You notice that?
I just started getting, my body, just the wheels fell off at 32. Yeah. I held on for another year and they were just completely off at 33.
What's the difference between an NFL locker room and a rugby locker room?
That's what else I was going to say. You asked what could guys learn from rugby guys, and I'd say just culturally, it's just like know me guys. Yeah. Like they're just non-existent in the rugby world. Like the guys are always such good guys, and the culture is so good, and it's such a team first mentality. And I mean, we do that, but like you see the prima donnas in the NFL, and like just like the amount of meanness in the NFL is crazy when I see a whole other side of it in a team sport like rugby, where there are guys that control the game, but you know, I think you really understand in rugby, like it takes everybody to make a play go. Yeah. You know, and we get, you know, some wide receiver. Your position seems to be the prima donnas, but like
I wasn't too diva.
Not you, but your position. And you know, they forget there's an offensive line blocking for Tom and you know, or whoever, and,
of the ball, Tom.
And Tom's throwing the ball, and you got other guys are running clear out routes, and then people are blocking downfield for him, and then they get in the end zone, and it's just like I did that. It's like fuck you, dude.
I know. There's a lot of that now.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing I take away from it is how vastly different the cultures are for two pretty much team sports. You know, and I'd argue though in the NFL, kids come up in that though. You got to be noticed. You got to be about you and let everybody see how good you are. And we build that culture in American sports because that's what makes it big. And
that's what makes money.
And, you know, rugby's not like that. So, yeah, man, it's a great sport.
You guys have fun songs you sing or anything? You have a song or do you guys drink beers with the other team and shit?
The Free Jacks post game, like
Haka?
They do like a post game song after they win, and they sing these songs. I don't know. They're kind of hot.
It's kind of like our locker room when I get on the mic before practice and start flowing.
You just ruin the vibe for everybody in the locker room. We're all getting ready to go, and then here comes Eddles, and we're like, God damn it.
Half naked with the fucking fake microphone rapping.
Yeah, just your pants on, no pads yet, just ready to go. Everybody you made people laugh, though. I don't know if they were vibing, but they were laughing. Oh, you brought the juice.
Nate, what's your favorite Jules story?
Man, personally, my favorite Jules story is, my favorite one is, I don't even know if you remember, but it was like when we had a summer conditioning run, and it was like me, you, Slate, Devin, and Pat.
Oh, that's a fast group.
And it was a fast group, and I just got off the Olympics.
Oh, you just got off Olympics.
And Eddles, and I love the story because it just shows how fucking competitive he is. But like
this is April,
summer, April or May, and like everybody's we're out there on like a Wednesday doing conditioning, and like Slayton, Devin, Pat are just like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll chill out. And you just kept like, we did like the first 2 reps, and you just like kept running in front of me, and I was like, don't do that. Me and you had a little beef anyway. I was like, don't do that, bro. And you're like, bro, I ain't worried about that shit. And then I just put the pedal down for like another, like, remember we would do like 80 yards, 40 yards, like 150 yards. It was like, it would change, but it was like 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
So we only had done like 2 reps. So we were only like 150 yards in. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to bury this dude. Cause we were going at it and you were just like, man, I ain't worried about all that shit. And I pretty much sprinted the whole thing. And you were with me, but you were done. But you spilled it, bro. You were like, so like just the competitiveness in that. Cause like I really was running too.
You just came off the fucking running Olympics. I was like, fuck this motherfucker. You didn't come out here.
And then I just remember we were finishing so much faster than Devin and Pat and them in the back. They're like, fuck those guys. They can do that. And me and you were just at it. And by the end though, like I really put the pedal down, but you spilled it so hard that you collapsed. And I just remember you're just like, I'm pissing my pants. I'm not even controlling. I can't even control my body. Do you remember that? We were like laying on the ground.
My pants. I was so tired. I went and fucking barked up the tree of the guy who just played in fucking Rugby 7's Olympics. And I was like, fuck this, Dave. Yeah. Let's see how fast you are. Because we used to condition. We were 2 of the conditioners.
Yeah,
me, him, and Slate would condition fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we would try to get better.
Set the pace. You were always the rabbits.
Right.
And so I'm like, fuck that. And he would run. And we'd be running our thing, and I would get right in front of him at the very end.
Right at the end, yeah.
And
I was like, and I'm getting pissed. I'm getting mad too, because I'm like that too. And then we just both were like, fuck you, no, fuck you. And then I just took off.
And then he broke me.
But you were right there. And then at the end, though, the respect at the end, because you were done peeing yourself. And I was like, I'm actually tired. Like, good shit. But I remember that. That's my favorite story, you, because you could have tapped. You could have just not been like that. And, Devin patted it back in the back. But like, nah, you can't help it. That dog's just in there and you just can't contain it if you tried. And I just love that. And no, but outside of that, I mean, yeah, him rapping in the locker room, just absolute clown. Just
bipolar,
a clown. Definitely bipolar. Emotionally unstable to say the least. But
bipolar.
You kind of know what you're getting into, and when he's like that, you just are like, he's just having a day.
Well, sometimes, what people don't realize, you had a standard there.
Yeah.
And if the shit didn't go right, I was pissed off. Like, if I didn't have a good practice, fuck, I'm mad.
And he's mad at everybody like it's their fault.
You just get mad. Like, fuck, it wasn't a good enough practice. Because they put that standard on us.
Yeah.
Where it ruined my fucking Cheerios. It ruined my morning. It ruined everything because we didn't fucking do good on 2-minute drill at the end of the fucking practice.
Yeah.
So.
But a lot of good
could say
Edel
anything because I still work.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about that culture was you had guys like yourself and, I like to think I worked hard and Slate and Dev and those guys, but like even like a Tom Brady who's like has every excuse in the world to take it easy. And I'm older. I don't feel like it today. Like that dude was out at practice early, warming up. He was always in the facility early. Like he worked as hard as anybody. And it's like, that's him. And if he's doing that, I got to do that.
And that was after 5 Super Bowls at the time.
Exactly. And it's just like when you get that guy doing that, and even Bill, like Bill did what he could do. He wasn't a player, but he was there early. He knew everything about every position. And you have this, he's preaching hard work and all that, but then you got it walked out from the leadership. And then guys like yourself who were big time leaders and myself who grow up in that system. And then we just can't help it. We just work like that. And it's just this trickle down effect. And then, I go to like New York with Joe and it's just like, there's none of that. And then it's just like, you just fracture so much easier. You're just such a less resilient team because of, just that difference of how hard guys are willing to work on one end. And then, I don't understand why we're working this hard on the other end. Right?
Yeah.
And it's why we were good.
Bill broke me once on those bout runs. Remember he made us do them out of the blue during the middle of a practice?
Yeah, those were
with
tough.
pads on.
Yeah, with pads on. Those hit different in the middle of practice.
I don't know. Why did he make us do that?
I don't know.
We were, and then all of a sudden we had to do a 3-minute bout.
In the middle of
I'm
practice.
sitting here, we just ran 2-minute, Bill. I'm dying. My back was tightened up too.
Everybody did.
Sometimes when you run those, because you're not used to running that far, that long with the weight.
Yep. 100%.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
a long
I was
run.
locking up on it. And it was fucking training camp, so it was hot as fuck.
Yeah, and you already probably put in 5,000 meters at least in practice. Yeah.
At least. Well, let's go back. into the sports world of 2016, the Summer Olympics. What was going on? Michael Phelps won 5 gold medals, 1 silver, and Phelps face, hashtag Phelps face, swept the internet. What was the Phelps face?
That was when he was staring down the South African. There was
Did you get to see
shadow
him?
boxing in front of him.
Yeah, man.
Is he cool?
At that point, he was already on. He was that guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I felt bad for him because he's got to lead the opening ceremonies. You know, we get on the buses as Team USA. It's not like he gets private bus. He's on the bus with all of us. But some of these guys are just like, these athletes are just swarming him. You know, and like want a picture with him, signing shit. And he's like, these are my USA teammates. But you know, so he's just getting swarmed. Nicest guy ever. You know, does the opening ceremonies. Like the next day, he's got to go swim. Like and I remember the opening ceremonies was like almost a week before the rugby, and I was like, after the opening ceremonies, I was like, I'm tired. I'm thank God we don't even have, you know, a game or nothing the next day.
Just from standing and
just
shit.
Standing. USA's like, United States is like last because of the U, and we were waiting forever, standing in line to go through it. Amazing experience going through the opening ceremonies. But what he went through with the team and the attention and just how long it was and how much walking to turn around and go swim the next day, like hell yeah, dude. Kudos for you. Like,
man, it's kind of like that Tom shit.
Yeah.
You know, because after a game, you got Tom. Every guy wants to take a picture with Tom.
Yeah.
You know, later in his career, a fucking guy picks him, wants him to sign the ball. You pick from him in the game. Like those guys have to be like those superstars that are the best, the greats.
Yeah.
They are such crazy compartmentalizers.
Yeah.
They're kind of like psychos.
My favorite Tom one was when we were in Mexico City. It wasn't like players or nothing, but I just remember we got off those buses in Mexico City and it's Mr. Tom Brady, Mr. Tom Brady. You remember that? And they were just, dude, Steve Gostkowski and Ryan Allen would just do that the whole dude, we were dying laughing. Bus 2, Gronk, all of us were back there, just Mr. Tom Brady. It was so funny, man. We said that the whole week. We beat the crap out of Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
They were
Oakland
at the time, but I'll never forget that. Like we got off those buses and they were just 1-0, just Tom.
Mr. Tom Brady.
Mr. Tom Brady.
Mexico, that was so fun. We did a documentary over. That was a cool experience.
Yeah, really cool.
Simone Biles won 4 gold medals and 1 bronze.
Beast.
She's a beast.
Yeah,
Usain Bolt completes the triple, 3 golds in 3 events, 100, 200, and 4x1.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him?
Legend.
Yeah, he was taller than I thought he would be.
He's fucking for a sprinter.
Yeah,
that's the new age. That's the new age sprinter.
Yeah,
it used to be sprinters with little balls of muscle.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's special. And then her, I mean, she.
Hey, what up with? Were you there with the Lockley guy who got mugged?
Yeah, how was that? How's that not on here? Yeah, dude, that was the like.
What was going on with that? Give us the lowdown.
I really don't know. I you know me, like I don't like. Not a lot's gonna sway my attention, but that was just like so. It sounded like it was a pretty phony, dramatic, attention-seeking thing, but I don't know that what actually happened, so I don't want to speak on it. But it sounded pretty weird.
What did he do? He got jumped?
I don't know what happened. You're gonna have to. I don't want to speak out of.
Yeah, we're not gonna speak out of pocket. Neymar's PK helped Brazil to the gold for Brazil in their hometown. That had to be cool to watch. Did you watch any of those games? The soccer games?
No, we went to some volleyball stuff. That's what I'm saying, dude. I should have stayed for a week and watched some events. And
I mean, Simone Biles' husband got to go miss training camp. You're fucking playing in the goddamn game and you didn't get to go?
I told you, biggest
Bill's
mistake.
like, get your ass home.
He wasn't, though.
Get your ass home, Nate.
It was my little Patriot way. Oh, I'll be right back. You know, like, what the fuck was I doing?
See, that's why we're the Patriots, though.
Yeah, but...
Because guys like Nate Ebner, the Patriot guy. I gotta get back to the team. Screw the most beautiful place in the world.
In the Olympics and watching the other events and maybe going to the beach. No, I got to go back to training camp.
And this is the year they debuted the Rugby Sevens.
Yep.
What was the coolest non-rugby athlete? Basketball?
I mean, yeah, we did some stuff with the basketball team. And I you know how Dev loved Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I love taking a picture of Kevin and those guys. They're amazingly tall. And it's like, obviously, but it just was weird standing next to him. But like we were watching them practice and Kevin Durant just like kept bricking it. And I was just filming it and sending it to Dev. I'm like, he's the best ever. Just talking shit.
I love KD.
Yeah. Oh, he was great. He was awesome. They were all great guys, and they were throwing the rugby ball around with us. It was pretty cool. The basketball team were dope. I don't know if they stayed in the Olympic Village because they couldn't have fit in the beds. Like I didn't fit in the bed. I know they couldn't have, but I mean, Michael Phelps was that guy for me.
You had a moment with him?
I talked to him for briefly. You know, I doubt he remembers that, but like it was, you know, I didn't want to be one of those people, but I just knew after seeing how Tom has to go through it, watching what he did with the opening ceremonies, how kind he was to everybody. He could have easily been like, nah, like, but he was so nice to everybody. Great dude, man. And then just a dog when he got in the pool, like just dominant.
Did you have any buzz being the NFL guy though?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. A lot of guys want to talk about what's the league like. You know, I was going to play in the league. You know, everybody told me how they were going to play in the league.
Yeah.
I said, okay. You know, so, you know, we had a lot of conversations. Everybody was really cool though. I mean, a lot of these sports aren't, you know, on the stage that the NFL is. So, you know, these guys, you got a lot more humble people that are, you know, just are more down to earth. So
yeah,
a lot of good people and just so much respect across the board because they're the best at what they do. Regardless of what it was, doing anything at an elite level like that is you know, you got to tip your hat to them. So, you know, a lot of dogs out there.
Hell yeah. I mean, fuck, that's like the collection. That's like the dog pound.
Yeah, literally the dog pound.
That's the dog pound over there. What was the coolest Olympic perk you got?
Got a lot of cool swag. Got some sweet bags. Perk though.
See, he NFL guy. He got perk.
I don't know.
He got the Ohio State perk. When you're from Ohio and you live in Ohio State and you live in Ohio, you don't need any other perks.
It's like gold, baby.
It's gold.
God's country.
That's God's country.
God's country out there.
God's country.
So no, I mean, yeah, we got some pretty cool swag, you know. So
freaking let's go, Jackie. Break down the USA rugby team. Let's get into the
I'll set the stage here, but Nate, jump in and love up on these dudes and give us the context. But we talked about head coach Mike Friday earlier. This is a 12-man roster, 7 play, but 12 traveled. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Wait a minute. You remember I used to wear the rugby shorts to practice?
Yeah. So real quick, I'm gonna tell this story
jump
before.
in, man.
So after the Olympics, Mike Friday wanted to come see the Patriots and how we like operated, you know, as an organization, see what he could take from it. But you know, we get into practice and he starts fanboying Jules, but he doesn't know who Jules is. And he came up to me. We were doing some one-on-one tackling drill, and you got a nice little goose step on you. And Mike's like, "Who's the 11? Who's the 11?" That's how, you know, he's British. I can't, you know, do that English accent, but that's how you talk about rugby players. Is, you know, your position is your number. And who's the 11? And he just kept saying that over and over. I was like, "That's Julian." And he'd be like, he'd be good. That guy, we got to get him. And I'm like, I don't think so. But you would have been a hell of a playmaker, man.
He brought me some of the official Team USA things. They went up.
Yeah.
Your balls would be hanging out.
Nice.
Yeah. I'd be wearing them at practice and stuff.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
You gotta wear them on the couch, brother.
No.
For an episode. No.
Teabag.
Oh my God.
You'd have been an elite player in the middle of the field when we needed someone to just make a switch of direction and get an edge on somebody. When guys are kind of standing still with the ball, your quickness would have been, you know, tough to deal with, and you would have tackled too. Yeah, you'd have been a great rugby player.
I would have been a winger, mate.
No, you wouldn't. You would have been a 9 or
A 9er.
Hooker, maybe?
scrum half or fly half, probably in 7s.
Wait, Nate, can you explain that to the non-rugby fan viewers?
Scrum half's the guy putting the ball in to the scrum. The 10 is the fly half, who's kind of like the quarterback, the distributor.
Oh, tight.
You know, you got guys on the wing that are 4'3", Jonathan Jones, Carlin Isles, just stupid fast. Light, but you're more of like, I know you're going to tackle in the middle, and your short area quickness is, you know, elite level. I want you in the middle. And you're going to have a high motor. You're going to work hard. And the guys in the middle got to run a lot to keep the spacing from gapping out, because if you get tired and you just leave gaps, they hit you up the middle. So you got to run a lot side to side. So you definitely would have been somewhere in that middle space, that Madison Hughes maybe, or Stevie Thomasine, you know. But yeah, you'd have been definitely in there, you know, chopping it up when we needed somebody to get a half break.
Hell yeah.
And then you'd be doing that out the back. Someone's tackling you, flip it, you know,
I fucking hit it.
or you give it to me to crash it up a little bit, or you give it to one of them fast guys to finish after you get halfway through. That's kind of what I did. I had breakaway. These dudes, I know you did, but not like that.
How fast is he?
From behind.
Carlin's like 4.2 fast.
4.2?
Yeah.
Like Jeff Dempsey.
Like,
remember how fast Dempsey looked on field?
Carlin, I played in the NFL for 10 years, and Carlin was the fastest athlete I've ever been around. You know, he's also 170 pounds, but like if you give him you give him a little bit too much space, like
he's kind of like Worthy.
You ain't catching him. Bro.
Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
He's fast.
Yeah, but imagine that guy on a soccer.
Well, that's how big Xavier Worthy is. He's 170 pounds.
But on a soccer field with only 7 guys defending, maybe even 6 because one's sweeping.
Yeah.
There's just so much space. And if he sits you down and takes you around the outside, like it's just their speed's different, bro. Like,
what about Tyreek Hill?
His top ends. I mean, yeah, Tyreek's fast as hell.
So how would he be a good winger?
He would be just fine. Yeah, he would be just fine. But I think he's short area quickness too. He's like that.
He's elite.
Yeah, he's elite.
He'd be
he'd be good. He'd be
now,
good.
Off topic, if we were in prime and flag football came in, would you try to go to flag football? I would.
You would, yeah. I'm sure you would.
You'd be running around. I want to go. I want to be Olympic Village. I want to see fucking other countries, opening ceremony. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Play for Israel.
So yeah, we can do the Maccabee games.
We could.
Ooh.
We could do it together.
Fellow Jew.
In our 40s.
I like it.
In our 40s, yeah, right. Hey, can I borrow a hamstring?
Even better. We got it when we're 40.
Jackie, get into the team.
This is also we gotta acknowledge. This was also the season that the men's sevens upset New Zealand. Correct, Nate? 15 qualifying year.
Yeah, so they played in the last World Series event leading into the Olympic year, and they won the London World Series event. So there's multiple series events. Like I said, Hong Kong, I said Singapore, France. London was the last one, and the USA had won that last.
That was
tournament.
huge. How big was that?
First time we've ever won a tournament. It's one thing to finish in the top 4 and go to the cup rounds where you're playing to go to gold, but we had never done that. So for us to do that leading into what would be the Olympics was a really big deal.
Wow.
Like, can you put that in NFL terms, us beating New Zealand?
Well, in sevens, us beating New Zealand is not as big as a deal as, like, we have yet to beat them in 15s. So 15s is the big boy. But, I mean, just for us to win a tournament, you know, when we've been a part of the series for, 20 years, and we finally get into the Olympics, and then USA qualifies, then we win a tournament. I mean, that momentum was really good, and you start to see the USA really can put it together. And then you get guys like, I'll let you get into this.
No, I appreciate you.
Get guys like
guiding us through this thing.
Perry Baker, who he was 2-time, which you don't have up here. He was 2-time player of the world. So they pick a player of the series in sevens, and he was I think it was 17 and 18 or 19, something like that. But he was 2-time player of the world as an American.
Wow.
So that those things were so big for rugby. And then obviously we lead into the women winning a bronze medal this year. Like, it's just,
how
it's
huge
trying
was
to,
that?
dude. I mean, I don't know if you watched the end of that.
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
Dude, so the end of that game, USA's like losing, and there's no time left, and this USA girl gets the ball, and she basically stiff arms this other girl to her back and runs like 80 meters to score with no time left.
Wow.
And then she had to make the kick to win.
To win it.
Yeah. But just a stiffy to the back, and then everybody chasing her. I mean, in the bronze medal match, like, so awesome. But it was huge because we've been in these Olympics now. This was the 3rd one, and we had medaled, and for the women to go in there and get it done, it's just huge for the game.
Who is your boy on the team? Who'd you hang out with the most?
I would say probably Danny Barrett, who's not up there. Which, I mean, if you got 30 seconds, you need to YouTube Danny Barrett.
So I've been
Sevens highlights.
I've been DMing with Danny.
Yeah.
He wants me to ask you about the time you bitched out.
See, I already told that. Of course, he couldn't wait to say that. Well, if he wants to do that, so
what did Danny Barrett say?
He said, ask him about the time he bitched out and I physically dominated him in a wrestling conditioning.
So I was talking about that at the beginning when I first got there. I actually had him folded up pretty good for the first 5 seconds, but it was like a 3-minute wrestling match. And after like 30 seconds, dude, I was done. And this dude was like ragdolling me around, and I'm just like, fuck, I got nothing.
So is that a drill? You guys got to
we
fucking wrestle for an hour?
So we would do these things called yaka yards, and they called them yaka because guys would yak.
Yeah.
So it's 45 minutes of stations like that. So for 3 minutes, me and Danny wrestle. And then for 3 minutes, we do up downs. And then for 3 minutes, you bear crawl with somebody on your back. And you just, for 45 minutes. It's insane.
I hate that stuff.
But I just remember
circuit training.
I blew it out too. I was like, I had Danny locked up, and then I'm just like, dude, blow the whistle, bro. And they're like, we're not even halfway into this thing yet. And dude. And then we did another 2 rounds of it, and I just was done. Yeah, he got the best of me there. But since I got the mic right now, we did have in those Olympic tryout games or whatever we had, me and him had a little one-on-one tackle session with him in the ball when he had the ball, and I'm just gonna say I got the better of that tackle.
Ooh, Danny Barrett.
He also wants to talk about fake Paris and the time that a coach had to play.
Oh, fake Paris. So when we went to Hong Kong and Singapore, we came back, and then the last 2 events were Paris and then London. So I went to Paris, played a little bit, and I had a talk with Coach Mike Friday about like, I'm not playing enough and I need to get ready for the Olympics. So they brought what's the B squad, which was the Falcons. So the Eagles are the main squad. Those guys went on to London to play in that final tournament. I actually went with the Falcons to play in what we called fake Paris. So they told the whole Falcons team. So we have like 30 guys on the roster, but only 12 guys get selected for these big events. But all these other guys need to play tournaments. So they tell all these guys that aren't, on the main squad, hey, we're going to fly you out to Paris and you're going to play in the tournament. So we're all going to Paris. And then we go down like 2.5, 3 hours south of Paris in this little town called Tours, France. And so everyone just started calling, if we're in Paris, fake Paris.
Oh my.
So we're in this place, Tours, and we played in this tournament, and so many guys got hurt. We didn't have any more people that our assistant coach had to put his cleats on and play in the final game.
Oh my.
And it was
he good?
Fun. He couldn't run. He's old, But it's just, that's rugby for you, guys. Coach puts his cleats on and comes out with us.
Who was the team asshole?
Could you imagine like Chatty O putting his cleats on and going out in practice?
I can't.
What about Slate right now?
Huh?
No, Slate's different.
Hightower, baby. Get Hightower.
Slate's
in
different.
There.
But
I think Slate can play still.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a freak.
He's still hitting 21 or something.
Yeah, he's a freak.
You want to get into these games here a little bit?
Yeah,
Talk about the Olympics itself. So 12 teams in this thing. The U.S. is in Pool A. Fiji, USA, Argentina, and Brazil's the auto qualifier because they're the hosts. This is August, baby. You guys are in training camp. Ebbs over here in Brazil, August 1st, they get there. And they got, let's see here, 12 group play matches, 6 group play matches, August 9th, 10th, and 11th. So 3-day event.
So it's, for us, we were playing basically 2 games a day.
Yeah, that's crazy with 7s, 2 in a day.
Yeah, well, some tournaments we play 3 a day.
Jeez.
Now,
and
is
you
it
just
broken
play
off
2
into 2
days.
30-minute halves?
No, it's just 2 7-minute halves. So
Oh,
it's
so
the
it's
whole game is like
14 minutes.
14 plus. So it usually be like
Extras.
some extras. But before that, you had us going to Florida. So we went down to Florida before as like a Olympic warm up,
Yeah.
and then we met the All Blacks.
Whoa.
And it was just like us and the All Blacks scrimmage for like 2 days. And I'd say like that's the best I've ever played in my life. Like the Olympics was good and all, but like I like played so good against the All Blacks. Like I thought at that point I was like, I need to start every game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I played really well there. But yeah, then we went from there. Had a week or so in Rio, and then it's like you got 3 days tournament and 6 games. You got to make it pop.
Would have been a Disney movie if you guys would have beat the All Blacks in the final.
Yeah, well they didn't make it. They
didn't make it?
Not to the final. So
Why?
You want me to talk you through this?
Let's talk us through it.
So this is our pool: Fiji, USA, obviously Argentina and Brazil. Fiji's the best team in the world in sevens. In sevens, Fiji is the best in the world. They've won.
Why?
Because they just
Speed.
They grow up playing that game, and they've got this like connection where they'll just throw the ball in a scenario where you just don't expect it, and the other guy seems to be right on it.
Yeah.
And their gameplay is so unorthodox, but just flows so beautifully. Like, and they're all big, and I got to show you the guy I was marking against when we played Fiji, but So we get this terrible draw really because Argentina is coming up as one of the better teams in the world. I think we were ranked ahead of them, but that was kind of skewed. And then we get Brazil, which is like the home nation. So they're going to come out and play their faces off because like they're hosting the Olympics.
Yeah, you got it.
So we start out with Argentina. They get out on us. I think like the moment was a little big. This is the first Olympics. It's a big moment. And I think it's just like the moment was a little big for some of the guys.
Yeah.
And they get out like 10 or 14-0 on us. And, I like to say I came in at halftime, was an impact player. Got it. We were winning with no time left. And
I remember this.
There was extra time though. Like, so when we scored the try, there was still a couple seconds left. So the ref wanted a kickoff. And so
they housed it, right?
We did a kickoff. We didn't kick to Perry and myself. Like we tried to go opposite, didn't go 10, which means automatically they get the ball in the 50 and they quick tap it. And we were just scramble mode. One guy shoots up and like no time left. Like we had the game won. We just needed to get out situational ball.
Where the fuck is our 2-minute defense?
Exactly. I was a proponent. It's like, there's no time left. Let's kick it 90 and like, let's make them go 90.
Why didn't they?
Because, it's just situational ball. It's just something we didn't do. Anyways, they scored with no time left. That was heartbreaking. So then we go play Brazil. I think that was the game the team watched. Yeah. You guys watched.
I think we
play Brazil.
I remember that game.
I scored and got yellow carded in that game.
Yeah.
Danny wanted to ask why you're so selfish for getting a yellow card in that game.
Dude, this guy keeps dummying. This guy is running. He's kind of like not passing. I said, fuck it. I'm laying this dude out. And right when I made the decision, he let it go.
And you can't do that?
But I had committed to smoking this dude. And, I probably should have, he let the ball go, pull off, and just give him a shoulder, but I buried him.
So you're roughing the quarterback guy.
And, I might have broke his ribs, though. It was a good hit, but I got carded. And he's right. I mean, I shouldn't have done it. It was a bad play, but, we handled that game.
You can't win.
Till you keep from losing?
Yeah, till you keep from losing.
So, another Bill-ism. That's like the best one to me. Can't win until you keep from losing. Didn't make any sense until he started talking about him.
Yeah.
So then we got to play Fiji, and we know we lost to Argentina. So at this point, we're like, we have to win this game because
and they're the best
because we lost this one to Argentina, and the top two go through.
Yeah.
So we have to beat Fiji, and they're the best. And I mean, you see that score. We lost by 5. Like we were in this game. We had this game too, and that was a heartbreaker because we knew, we didn't get it done. And then by point differential, the All Blacks actually were third in their pool, but they had just a slight lesser point differential or better than us, and they got to go into the cup rounds. And so at that point, we were out of the medal rounds and we won the rest of our games. But, we lost to what would be the gold medalist in Fiji.
I remember that. And they played against Argentina, right?
Argentina goes to the semifinal match to go to the gold medal match, and they're playing Great Britain, and they go to overtime.
Britain won it, right?
They went, and they won. Britain won in overtime against Argentina. Argentina was gassed from that, ended up losing the bronze medal match to South Africa, but they were that close overtime to going to the gold medal match. So you would have had in our pool
both
Fiji and Argentina, but so Argentina doesn't get it done. Great Britain ends up going to the gold medal match. Fiji beats them like 47-5, just destroys them. But like, I just say that because we had a very strong pool and we had it with both teams. And, I really felt like we had a really good team and we had a chance to medal. It just at that point got away from us. But man, what a great experience, dude.
Now, can you do some rugby for dummies for us?
Okay.
What's the score?
A score is called a try. A touchdown is a try.
How do you get it?
You got to cross the end goal, but you have to actually touch the ball to the ground with control.
Touchdown.
Yes, that's where touchdown came from. You're brilliant.
And then, so a try is how many points? 3?
Try is 5.
But
the conversion, try ain't none of that. Try is 5 points, or a touchdown is 6.
Trying to understand this.
Well, do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, okay.
A try is 5 points, and the conversion is 2. So in football, the touchdown is 6 points. The extra point is 1. So in total, you get 7 like you would in football, but the conversion is harder. So if you score in the corner, you don't get to kick from the middle of the field like in an extra point in football every time. So you have to actually go from the sideline. If you score on the sideline, you have to pull it straight back. You can pull it as far back as you want, and then you got to drop kick it in 7s through the uprights from the sideline.
If I cross the goal line,
yeah,
close to the sideline,
yeah,
and I'm like, fuck, I'm not a really good kicker, so I got to bring this thing to the
Oh,
middle.
you want to go to the middle every time.
So I'm going to the middle, but what if I lose the ball in the end zone?
It's not worth that, So
if I lose the ball, is that considered?
Yeah, we'll get it.
So if you can't win until you keep from losing?
Yeah, absolutely. We need those points. Touch it down. But like sometimes you got to try to get it to the center to make the kick easier. But at some point you got to just like trust the kicker to make the kick. But like, yeah, you got to touch it down or it's not a try. If I picked you up or knocked the ball out of your hands and took you out the back of the end zone, like, it's going to be our ball. Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Anyway, so you basically you pass backwards and
no lateral or no forward.
No forward passes. The ball goes backwards and you run forwards. And basically the reason the game continues to flow is because of what's called a ruck. And so when someone gets tackled, they place the ball back towards their team. There's a ruck, which is a competition over the ball. The defense tries to steal it, but the offensive guy, seals it, the support player.
Line of scrimmage.
And then the ball gets played away, and the ball is the line of scrimmage in that sense. So once that tackle gets made, we have a new line of scrimmage. Ball gets passed out, run around, pass, tackle gets made, new line of scrimmage. And so the defense always has to retreat to that, back foot of that ruck every time there's a tackle, and you just continually flow. And, that's pretty much the gist of it. Now,
what's the most complicated rule? Like for dummies.
Oh, man. What's the most complicated? I mean, they just implemented the 50-22 rule. That's like if you kick it from behind the 50 and it rolls out of bounds behind the 22, which is the red zone, you actually get to keep that line out. But if the ball goes out on the full, the other team gets the line out from where you kicked it from. I'd say like line out rules or like ruck penalties, infractions where like guys' hands are on the ground, or scrummage penalties for me are stuff that gets confusing. Be like offensive line, technicalities with cut blocks. People don't understand what's legal and what's not. It can get messy, but ultimately you pass backwards, you run forward, someone gets tackled, you kind of reset, play it away. It's like basketball, man. It's free flowing.
Soccer.
It's fast break basketball to me. Like sometimes in basketball, it's 5-on-5. You get a set piece. We call it pick and roll, and you could shoot it, you could pass it, and we call that off of a scrum. You got to switch. You called that earlier. Maybe you give that. Maybe you dummy it. Maybe somebody comes on a short line. You kind of have these suggestions, but you take what the defense gives you. That's what basketball is. And then you have these like fast break situations. 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and you just kind of pass and whatever.
That's like hockey.
Yeah, hockey as well. And you have a lot of that. You try to find those fast break scenarios and exploit the space.
But then the corner is like soccer.
The corner.
Yeah, like if there's balls getting thrown in corner.
The line out? If the ball goes out of bounds, it's called a line out.
Over the head?
Yeah. And that's like a jump ball, and that's not like a corner kick at all.
Now,
if that's what you're talking about. Like,
didn't Joe Judge design a fucking onside kick where you were gonna, after a safety, that you had to fucking drop kick?
Yeah, we did. That was terrible. It's like just kick it over the front line. We did against Philly. Yeah,
we did it against Philly.
Chip Kelly's the OC at Ohio State right now too, and he's like, I remember you when we played against you guys. You did that drop kick. I'm like, man, the one thing you remember,
come on,
is like that terrible play. I kicked a drop kick in that game and an onside kick off the tee.
You practiced him?
And Jamie Collins was supposed to be the jumper, and he got hurt in that game. And I actually felt like I kicked a really good one, but we didn't have that Jamie Collins out there, and it just was anticlimactic, when we would catch onside kicks and just walk off the field.
Oh.
But yeah, we did a lot in that game. And we had returns where somebody pitch it to me and I'd rip a rugby pass across the field. Remember we did some
on the Desperado shit.
Yeah, Desperado, where I'd be in and
Desperado would be our last play of the game.
Yeah. So we did we tried a lot, never came up.
That's bullshit that coach let Doug Flutie kick one and he didn't let you get one.
Well, remember, I was practicing some extra points.
I remember that.
He wanted me to do it, and I was feeling good about myself, but I never got the call.
Come on, coach.
Yeah.
Just foundational piece of our success. Just throw him a bone.
Just let me hit a drop kick. We're up 24-3. Let me hit a drop kick.
Can you, before we go after the Fiji game, you had a try almost, right?
I did score a try, yeah.
Take us through that.
It was off a restart. I can't remember. I think they might have kicked us, or I don't remember who kicked off, but basically one of our guys caught it, made a quick guy miss or low, and the guy was hanging on his jersey, and I just came flying off his hip, and he just gave me a little pop. And then I just kind of went through, and it was like a 60-meter, maybe 50-meter, something like that, just run. but it was had to have it. So I was like pedal down, you know what I mean? Like fuck saving my gas. Like when you play that game, you got to think about when you expend energy.
Yeah,
like
I
a
bet.
full tilt run, full out everything. Like it's hard to come back right away to go play at a high level.
Then you got to go tackle.
But I was like, we got to score, and kind of a freebie, but I finished it, you know? So I felt good about that. And
When you scored that, you think about your pop?
I think the first one against Brazil, when you guys watched us play Brazil, and the line, like there's like the little details of like route running that that is really nice that no one will understand.
Yeah.
I had like a setup pre-catch that put me through the hole, and then just a little stiffy, and I was through, and it was just a great pass from Madison Hughes, and I got through, and I just had scored a try in the Olympics, and that was the first one, and that was the one where I was like, hell yeah. The Fiji was like, fuck, dude, we need a win. Hurry up and kick off again. I was too in the moment. But that score against Brazil was dope. You should look up Tuivosa, Tuivosa Fiji rugby. Look at this dude's thighs, bro. Like whatever you think of Saquon Barkley, like this dude, this is the dude I had to mark for Fiji. He was playing 12 and I was playing 12.
Look at those legs.
Yeah, whatever you think of Saquon.
That's what Saquon would look like, I bet.
Me and Say were locker roommates when I was in New York. Yeah, he had some monster legs.
That's what he looked like.
He looked just like that.
Okay, if you put them short ass shorts on Saquon, he would look like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that dude was.
And he got high tower calves too.
You don't even know where to tackle someone like that.
Yeah, that's how those knee bones probably hurt. You just gotta let him slide by and get on the back of him.
Yeah, that's what let him get off the soft shoulder, and
then you do the hip drop.
Those ankles.
You say, hey, there ain't no hip drop in fucking rugby. I'm hip dropping them legs.
Yeah, that dude was huge.
I'm hip dropping.
But that was the Fijian team. You had guys like that. Then you had
God.
some Gronk 6'6" dudes that could run. It was crazy, man. They were a level above everybody else.
But you know what? United States with a teaspoon of fucking cement. First time in the goddamn tourney. First time recognition of any kind of rugby success. You know what they do? They say, fuck that. See that guy over there with those fucking tree trunk legs? I'm not scared of that. We're going to battle these bastards.
That's right, baby.
That's what we did.
We did battle.
Battle them to the very end.
We did. They got, we.
Like it was 1776.
We had a line out at the end.
On July 4th.
Oh, Jesus. Keep
when
going.
Bombs were bursting in the air, but you could see that little flag just hanging up there with the bombs bursting in the background, the smoke, the fire.
And the bombs were bursting.
Don't make me start singing it. Oh, say.
Oh my God.
Getting real patriotic in here.
What's the aftermath of this, Jackie?
Fiji would go on to win the gold, as Nate mentioned.
Man,
but
what a
Team USA
breakdown,
would
too.
win out. They would win out, smacking Brazil and Spain, 24-12 in both of those.
Yep.
Fiji would also go on to win gold in 2020, silver in 2024, lost to France. Team USA finished 3-2 at the Olympics. Carlin Isles, we mentioned earlier, finished most tries in the tournament. Nate would go back to the NFL, retire in 2021, and then Team USA, Olympic sevens. They'd be back in 2020 and again in 2024.
Say, going back to the NFL after, worrying about, should I go play rugby? Am I going to have a football contract? And like, am I even going to make the team, to like making it, playing well, being healthy? Like, my give a fuck meter was so low when I came back, and I was super fit, and all I did was tackle all summer. Like, I was in such a good place that year, and obviously I had a really good year, led the league in special teams tackles, the second team All-Pro, and we won the Super Bowl that year. And I will say I'm the only person to play in a team sport in the Olympics and win a Super Bowl in the same year.
That's incredible.
Hell yeah.
So I've got that.
Incredible.
But I mean, that's a testament to being a part of a good team.
So
lucky to be a part of the Patriots for as long as we were.
We were lucky to have you. We were lucky to have you in our locker room. And it brings me back to that conversation you had with your mom.
Yep.
After all this year, did you feel like did you accomplish what you set out for?
Yeah, I think, like I said, after the Olympics, obviously was into a second contract in the NFL, played in the Olympics, kind of just, even when you go back to that walk-on at Ohio State, it's just like, if you give everything you have to something, like, you're capable of getting it done. You just have to be willing to sacrifice everything. And, that's kind of what my mom got out of me, was like, time to fully commit to something and give it your all. And, I did that again and again, whether it be with Ohio State or the NFL or with the Olympics. And, that kind of proved to me like what I or anyone is capable of if they're really willing to give everything they have to something. Now, that came with a lot of sacrifice, but chasing your dreams is worth it for sure. And living without regret because you're wondering about what could have been and should it, what would that have been like? Like, fuck that, send it, go for it and see what happens. And at least in that scenario, you'll be able to put your head down at night knowing, hey, I gave it everything I had. I didn't make it in the league. I didn't make it on that Olympic team. I tried. Didn't work for me. There's a lot of good players out there, some of the best in the world, and, shit happens. But
Man,
at least I tried.
So many people could take so much from this. I mean, the cards you're dealt with your father and the stuff that you've been through, that was a big fork in the road of life.
100%.
And people need to hear your story more, because a lot of people go through shit like that, whether it's different situation of some form of fashion of some kind of adversity in their life. And it's people like you that give people hope, man. I remember when I learned that story, man, because not everyone knew that story about you when we were fucking playing.
Yeah.
Like, you opened up to me and it was like, man, now I understand.
Yeah.
Because you always did have that look in your eye, like it's this or nothing.
Yeah, I'm willing to die for this shit.
And willing to die for this shit. And that could be said. That could be seen by a lot of people, man. And it was so inspirational.
I appreciate that. I mean, you're right. That fork in the road was real. I mean, I was close to going the other way. And my mom was probably the big reason why I didn't. I mean, I contemplated, going back to the junkyard, just beating up robbers. That's what we did when I was young, was just chase robbers. I was going to do it by myself. I was on the edge, and that, she brought the best out of me, and I'm always going to be thankful for that moment. That was huge.
I'm going to call my mom after this. It's like Billy Madison. I love you, Dad. Or what was, you know what I mean? Or I love you, Mom. It's a fucking.
Does anyone know what he's talking about? I mean, maybe
I don't remember that part in Billy Madison.
Maybe I'm way off.
Just go with it, though. I'm with you. Call your mom, dude.
Always.
Now, I got a quick one. Would you give up one Super Bowl trophy for a gold medal?
Yep. I've never been asked that, but that was a quick yes in my mind. I wanted that so bad, bro. And I thought we had the team to do it, and that we did, and we just didn't get it done. And, those opportunities don't come up a lot. We were so lucky how many Super Bowls did we go to?
5.
And it's like
4.
Just the opportunity to go, let alone win the ones that we did win. But, I didn't get another opportunity to do that. I actually went to go to the Olympics in 2020 to go back.
Not with those knees.
No, I was good in 2020.
Not with those.
I was good in 2020. They canceled the Olympics because of COVID. Yeah. They pushed it to 21.
And God canceled those knees years ago.
Then the knees were shot. Yeah.
You ain't getting in it. You ain't. That's a young man's sport, Nate.
Yeah.
2020, we were hurting.
I believed.
Gotta believe.
I believe.
I gotta believe, man.
They're like, get out of here, bro. You're old. Can't even bend over. Get out of here.
Now, Nate, people don't know, Nate's a Jewish athlete.
That's right.
And we always had we kind of clicked up. It's kind of like if we were in prison or something. We would be the only two Jews locked up together. So, like, on the low, we would always kind of like, hey.
There's not a lot of us, but we got to defend each other.
Hey, you going to fast this year? No, nah, we don't have to. All right, man. All right. See you later.
Yeah. Remind me to call my grandmother on Yom Kippur.
Who's the Jewish athlete on Mount Rushmore?
I mean, for me, like, just with my dad, and he loved the Olympics and stuff, I automatically go Mark Spitz.
Yeah.
Just because he loved swimming. My dad swam.
Yeah.
He looked kind of like my dad. And Mark Spitz was a G back in the day. He was the Phelps of it. And that guy I got to go with for sure. The other one.
Sandy Koufax?
Yeah, I mean, you got to go. I mean, that's just.
Where's our guy? Sid Luckman?
I think was Sue Bird. I think
Bird. She's up there.
She was.
Oh.
I mean, she's
part
up
of the
there.
tribe?
Yeah, she's a tribe member.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, my God.
So those two, I mean, Koufax. And honestly, I don't know that we're allowed to do this, but like, well, yeah, fuck it. I mean, you got to be on there for me. I mean, you're Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl wins. I mean, elite.
My dog. You're on mine.
Thanks, brother.
You're two-sport fucking. You're Olympian NFLer.
See how Jews, we got each other's back.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
The funny thing about my back is
It's located on my cock.
I thought that was rhetorical. I didn't know we actually had to say it. I was gonna say my back's sore. I lifted yesterday. No, what are you talking
Let's just say Jack had to get reprimanded for a Deshaun Watson joke on that recently.
Wait,
HR.
how you think Bill could coach rugby?
I think Bill could coach taking a shit. Like the way he would analyze, and he's very, type A or whatever you want to call that, where he's just like kind of introverted, but like super obsessive and meticulous. And, he could tell you how to take a shit while being efficient, but saving the most TP at the same time.
Look,
yeah, he could teach rugby for sure.
Look, there's situational shitting. Like,
yeah.
if you got 10 minutes to shit, like, I can understand. But, like, if we got 30 seconds to shit, you got to get it out in white.
Yeah.
You can't beat yourself.
Your pants got to be undone before you sit down. Like, before you walk in the room.
How are you? Are you watching him on TV?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he's Bill.
He's
great.
been getting
he's
a little
better.
He's
getting better.
Each week when he starts talking about certain things, like you could tell.
I texted him actually. I was like, I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah.
He's like, me neither, man. But he's doing a great job, and I learned so much from that guy. Like I said, that rookie year was so big for me, with not only like B Flow and Matty P and them and Scotty O, but like Bill, man. Bill taught football all day, every day, and absolutely he could teach rugby. He could teach anything, like I said. So he was the best. I think to go through my story, I think, I don't like to give credit to luck for much of anything in life. I think you earn it and you work for it, and I definitely did. But some things were lucky. I was lucky to be pretty healthy throughout my whole career, and a lot of guys aren't.
Yeah.
That was one, and I was lucky to have the men in my life that I had. Not only a father figure like I had that was a very special human that taught me how to be a man, but, I went to Ohio State with Jim Tressel, highest character human being ever. Him and Slater are my two on my Mount Rushmore. And then I go to the Patriots with ownership like Mr. Kraft and a coach like Bill Belichick. Look at how many guys go to teams with new head coaches, and it's just they're in such a bad situation. And that was something I was very fortunate to have, the coaches and the men in my life that I had. So yeah, love Bill.
I love Bill too.
I have nothing bad to say. Bill is the best.
I wouldn't say he's the best. He's
best.
Definitely a goddamn asshole.
Who cares?
But I fucking love him.
Assholes are great.
And I mean, I always say
You're an asshole. I'm an asshole at times. So you're just a bad person because you get a little tough love?
I'm not saying that at all.
Tough love is the best love.
I've been like one of the few to have his back through the whole kit and caboodle of everything. That's why I wasn't on the goddamn documentary. I didn't talk enough shit.
Yeah, I mean, he had the team, his best interest. He put everything into it. He looked out for everybody. He held everybody to the same accountability. I mean, exactly what you would want from a leader if I had to go back. And I mean, it's just, he was first class.
What about Ernie?
I mean, Ernie's just special. Ernie's just special.
You have any Ernie memories?
Nothing funny. I mean, just the Malcolm Butler play we ran in practice that he drew up. I mean, he drew that play up, and then then it comes, and Malcolm got smoked in practice.
Every time Josh Boyce pissed off watching in Arizona,
and then
if they see this play, we're gonna lose.
And then he picks it off in the game, the biggest play of his life. And that's all. Ernie drew that shit.
Ernie, I remember, yeah. So remember when Ernie fell down and hit his head?
Yes, that was then. He fell down. He
finished practice with stitches. Yeah. Ernie came out and he finished the fucking practice. Coach hurt. Yeah, he looked like a goddamn mummy. He had a fucking. Remember,
he
was
like
a
rugby player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hilarious, man. No,
Jack, did we miss anything?
We had a great episode, but we got to give a little shine to Alex Cedric of the women's sevens. Scored that last minute try against Australia in the bronze medal match. Shout out to her, Alana Marr, all those girls.
Isn't there a rugby girl on Dancing with the Stars?
Alana Marr, she's killing it.
She's been. I've seen her everywhere.
Might be her versus Dola.
Her highlights actually rival Danny's.
Oh,
she puts the boomstick down on everybody.
Hit stick.
Yeah,
this is 2007 Madden. Hit stick.
We got to get her in the nut house, man.
I
got to get her out here.
she's elite. She plays the game violently, and it's a violent game. You like to see people remember it's a violent game. And she does that.
Are our girls going to be able to compete for the gold?
I think so. I think when you start talking about that top 3, you're in it. Like sevens is anybody could win on any day. France won the gold in the men's this year. I mean, they were favorited because it was in France, but they weren't really. I don't know that they were in it. I mean, I guess they had DuPont come in, so they were better than they usually are, but they won it. I think the women are absolutely in contention to not only repeat medaling, but we want more. We want the men to keep up with them and get 1, 2, but we want somebody to get a goal. We don't care who it comes from.
Without a doubt.
Heck yeah.
We want rugby to keep going forward, and people like Perry Baker, Danny Barrett, all the ones before. All of them and Alona and all of them, they're pushing the game forward and hopefully the game's in a better place, because of them.
Nate Ebner at 13 years old walked. So what's her name?
Alana Marr.
Alana Marr could fly.
Let's go, baby. Nate, thanks for teaching us rugby.
Let's name the game.
I appreciate you educating us today, man. Yeah. Seriously.
We got to name this game, and then we're going to score the game.
Okay.
Name the game. Rugby is back. The return of rugby, 7s and 16, or do you have a name for this specific Olympics that you want to call it?
I mean, Rugby in Rio.
Yeah,
Rugby in Rio. Perfect.
I'm not really like a
I think
Darth Vader, so the Rugby in Rio or the return of rugby is not going to hit for me. But yeah, I'll do Rugby in Rio because
I love it.
Rugby in Rio. Score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Stakes 0 to 10, 1 to 10. Decimals okay. The stakes.
I mean,
of these rugbies.
This is the Olympics.
Rugby games.
This is the Olympics. It's the highest stakes there is in rugby right there. And then, not to mention, rugby hadn't been in the Olympics for almost 100 years.
100 years.
This is as high stakes as it gets. We just talked about all the people that did it before us. I mean, the stakes got to be a 9-8 for me, a 9-5, somewhere high.
For me, if it was a gold medal match, the stakes would be high.
That's fair. That's why it's not a 10.
If gold medal.
I guess
match.
I'm putting the whole Olympics in as one.
This is not a judging.
I think we do the American team in the Olympics.
That's kind of how I was taking it. Yeah.
I'm going to go with an 8.1, which is a very integrity type score.
6-7.
The Olympics.
I had a 7-3.
7-3. Star power 0 to 10. Decimals
are
okay.
we talking? Okay, are we just talking the world of rugby or all sports of all?
Ooh.
I mean, because when you guys say stakes and we're talking about rugby, I mean, a 6-7, like you might get slapped for that.
Yeah, I think my ignorance is showing here with the.
But if we're talking about Super Bowls and Stanley Cups and everything else, then okay, you can make an argument. It's still the Olympics, but people wait 4 years to do that. You don't get it every year.
Without a doubt.
If it was the gold medal match,
I just want to know what we're talking about. That's fair. That's fair. Star power for me.
Gold medal match.
I mean, I'm living in the rugby world.
There's a lot of stars there too.
There are a lot of stars in the Olympics. I'm going to go with a 8.3.
8.3, the Welker score. I'm going to go with a stars there, an 8 flat.
5. I went 5-7. I'm botching the score, guys. I'm just going to.
I'm really judges.
They want to fight.
Russian judges want to fight. Ebbs is mad.
I don't blame him.
Gameplay of this.
I'm not mad. I'm feel disrespected, and that's a whole different story.
I hate that.
Yeah, you should. I hope you're shaking a little bit.
The gameplay of this. Shaking in his boots.
Gameplay as an excitement.
Excitement. Back and forth.
Close games.
Yeah, we had. I mean, are we talking about us specifically? Yeah. Are we talking about Phelps? Or are we talking about?
We're talking rugby.
Okay, I mean,
sevens.
I'm gonna go with 7.5. I've seen better gameplay.
I was just so excited when watching this. I'm gonna give it a 7.8.
Nice.
What about you guys?
6.5. Again, I'm sorry, guys.
I had a 7.7 in honor of rugby sevens.
There it is.
I like that.
I think the whole rugby.
God damn it! Why didn't I think of that?
Hey, you can change it.
Yeah, no.
The name. You have to score the name.
Rugby in
Rio, which comes off the tongue real nice.
Good alliteration.
Comes off
also the cultural
impact. Rugby is back in Rio. 100 years, 0 to 10 decimal okay.
I mean, I came up with it. I got to think highly of myself here.
Facts.
8.5?
8.5?
Is that a good name? I don't even know. The
I mean,
name's
it sounds
good.
like a Disney movie. I'm going to go with that 8.2.
Okay. It does sound like a Disney movie.
Oh, man. Again, 3.0. I'm sorry, guys. The
3.2.
entire rugby
They
community
want me to get off the couch.
I stand by it.
I'm done.
What is
How did they score that before we even came up with
Because
the name?
they're cowards.
Yeah.
No, I stand by it.
They're
I'm such a coward. I don't stand
So
by
it's
it.
a 6.88. That puts us.
where does it go in the games that we've
It
done?
puts us just above the Legion of Boom game, Super Bowl. God, I don't know.
Seahawks and Broncos.
versus Broncos, and just below the 2011 AFC divisional round game, Broncos versus Patriots.
What was that game?
That was the Tebow.
What are we talking
yeah.
about?
They had 6 touchdowns with Rob.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking Rob wanted to talk about Tebow.
I forgot about that.
I think we played Tebow. Like, yeah. He's like, let's talk about that one. I'm like,
Remember when he was on our team?
yeah. I remember when Nico Kudavides went up to him right away, asked him like, hey,
Yeah, you actually like.
man,
I love that.
Nate, did we miss anything?
Nah, man. Yeah,
That was fun. You taught us. No, this is gonna be great because this is gonna educate our listener, which is probably notoriously the big 3: football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Actually, big 4, and soccer. Actually, we got soccer in there, and wrestling.
Wrestling.
So we're gonna
Professional
broaden
wrestling.
the horizon. WWF, of course. We're gonna broaden the horizon of rugby more because it's. I see it a lot more than when we watched you. Because
Yeah.
I mean, when you came on our team, we all got real comfortable and familiar-ish with it. And then when you played in it, then you grab naturally. Like I don't know if the algorithm in my fucking TV or something. I just feel like I saw it more, or it's been being showed more. And with the success that we've been going to the Olympics and having, it's been awesome, man.
I think a little bit of everything. If there's anything we missed, I would say, I get asked a lot of times, could football players play? And we talked about some guys that would be great. Travis Kelce seems to think like, rugby guys couldn't play football, which might be the case, or rugby is easy. I think.
When did he say that?
I don't know. Something came out with some negativity towards, but like, I'm just saying he's a good athlete and all, but he would get circles ran around him very quickly out there.
Oh,
And now he'd be good and all that,
a young Kelsey?
that gas tank ain't gonna last in that one. And
young.
maybe he'd have to earn it. I don't know.
Savvy
I just
guy.
think to just make a blanket statement.
What did he say about rugby?
I don't remember, and I'm not gonna quote him, but it just
Well,
felt
it's going to be
negative.
talked about if you're calling out Travis Kelce.
I think Andy Reid could scheme him open out on the rugby field. He could scheme him open.
So now Andy Reid knows how to coach rugby. God damn,
I think Patrick Mahomes would be a good rugby player.
bro. Patrick Mahomes can't run with these dudes. Carlin Isles, you think Patrick Mahomes is gonna tackle Carlin Isles? Are you kidding me?
I think Jamie Collins would be a good rugby
My
player.
point being is the IQ of the game that we talked about earlier. Like the fact that Travis thinks he would just go out there or whatever, like that football players would just go out there and just like there's too high of an IQ to do that. A lot of football players have tried and it just doesn't work like that. Now, not to say they couldn't eventually get there. You ain't walking out there and fucking with those dudes. They're at a high level.
I'm with you.
And Travis
you know what
Kelce's
this
amazing at football. You are, but I just don't.
You know what
I
this
don't
reminds
see it.
me of? When Meryl Streep won some award one night, and I'm watching it. I'm a huge Meryl Streep fan. And she called out football and fighting and athletes that were not real art. I kind of feel where you're a little hurt right now.
I just know after playing both at a high level.
I felt hard. I felt one of my favorite actresses calling. She like lumped us up like UFC and dumb football, people that like football or this, that.
Yeah.
They don't know the real integrity of art. I'm like, well, how is this not art when I'm doing my body the way I'm doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And
That's not art?
some of the stuff these guys do, and after playing in the NFL and playing at the highest level, it's just like you got to give your respect. Dudes that throw darts at the highest level, we can't throw darts with them.
I think I could throw darts.
Hell, see, there we go, man. We just got guys that think they can do it. I love that you think you can do that, but those dudes are special. And anyone who does anything at the highest level, you got to give them a little
You
respect
definitely
for what
do.
they do.
I don't think it was a tongue in cheek by Travis. Maybe
Probably, and I'm giving him a hard time, maybe. But
are you a little sensitive right now?
rugby's my baby. I gotta protect
It's your
it. You know what I
kid.
mean? So, but those guys are special. I've been with them. I've seen them, and I know how good they are and how hard they work, and I've seen both sides of it, the NFL and that. And, like, these dudes aren't slaps. Like, these dudes are truth. Now, if Tyreek Hill grew up playing rugby, yes, he would be elite. I mean, I can't argue that. So would Travis, but, like, you didn't, so don't say you'd walk out there and do it, So.
I get it. It's kind of like, it's the conversation of our best athletes don't play soccer.
LeBron James playing football.
He'd have a hell of a red area package.
You just wonder, is he going to play 16 games?
How's he don't need him 15 plays a game. They maybe 3 touchdowns.
But the point being, that's the conversation.
I get it.
How's Travis Kelce's lateral technique?
Because
he throws it. He does. I mean, he's nice with all that. It's, don't get me going. I rest my case.
What about his teammate, Louis Rees-Zammit? Isn't he the rugby player?
Yes.
Was he good?
Dude is electric. Dude is one of the best rugby players in the world. He can't run routes like you can yet. I mean, he has to learn how to play the game.
Yeah.
And maybe he will get there. I don't want to say he can't, because he's electric. He's super athletic. But like people talk about him all the time with me, and I talk about you. The IQ of knowing, is it man or zone? Where am I going to sit? Tom's going to know what I'm thinking. Like that level, before you even talk about anything physical and your ability to like sit a receiver down or play against his leverage and really create distance, like what are you thinking? Do you even recognize? There's so much into it before you even get to that point. That's where he needs to get. And he's one of the best in the world at rugby. So to sit there and say, you think you can just walk out there and think like him on a rugby field? Come on, dog.
I'm with you. Except if the Swiftie fans get mad at me, I'm not in this. You want to plug anything? What do we got? You're in town. You're gonna talk some rugby. We
got some rugby on NBC.
NBC
tomorrow.
That'll be fun.
Not gonna know about it because
it's time delayed, but
time delay.
But that's still part of your job, and you're building your resume. TV.
Yep. Finish strong. A father's code and a son's path. The book. Yeah. If you want to. Amazon, whatever you want.
And you're trying to make it a movie. It's your story.
Well, I got people. Yeah, I mean, they're script writing as we speak.
Yeah.
So
I'm
really excited about that.
Huh?
Who would you have play you?
God, dude, I don't even know.
I think I'm gonna play you.
Yeah. Who's gonna play you?
Well, I don't know if I'll be in the movie, but I'm gonna play you.
We're gonna have somebody super emotional in the locker room at some point, throwing their helmet and cussing at themselves.
I mean, at least it's not at you.
No, that's gonna. You're always yelling at yourself. But yeah, no, that, and if you need a jet, call me, dog.
I will. Yeah. Man, thank you coming on, man. This was such a fun episode. So many inspirational stories from you and life experiences. And, I'm so happy for you, not just as, one of my former bros, still bro, but new father, girl dad. Yeah, girl dad. So excited for you. I love you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me. I had a good time.
Man, Nate's a very inspirational man.
Captain America, man.
Really is. Full of little bullshit, though.
Ooh. What are we calling BS?
No way my guy thinks he can go out and compete for the Olympics through 4 knee surgeries deep.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that. 40, Nate. You ain't getting up on that pitch, whatever. You ain't getting on the field. You can't do it.
Ain't no flag football, no sevens.
You're going to try to prove me wrong. I
want you and Nate to join the Israeli flag football team and see if you can make it.
Yeah, but him saying that we could do that, like, his knees aren't even good enough for that.
Josh Rosen leading the quarterback room there.
Something I'm both.
No, we'll bring in BYU.
Yes.
We'll bring in BYU.
That kid's undefeated, bro. He's tearing it up.
Name?
Hold on, let me look.
We're bringing in BYU. That's my guy. Bridging the Mormons and the Jews.
Jake Retzloff.
Yeah.
Jake Retzloff, yeah, bro. He's having himself a year, baby. Retzloff for Heisman.
Are they still undefeated when
Yes, they squeaked by Utah. And
that'll be sweet, man. BYU's always been they've always been good.
Like once
they used
a generation.
to take a lot of JUCO guys. Because a lot of the Mormons, they got to go on mission, so sometimes you have to go back to JUCO or something. And these kids would come back at 25. But I played with a lot of guys that like went to BYU or like a lot of BYU used to come to my JUCO, College of San Mateo, and pick guys up all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. They ever try to convert you or not?
They didn't pick me up.
I feel you.
They didn't pick me up. No,
I feel that.
They didn't try to convert me.
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't soak. I'm just joking. All right,
I'll jump on the other end of the bed for you,
we
brother.
love Nate, man. Awesome story. We got to go check out. What?
Sorry, just more soaking talk.
Jack's just being your soak
Sorry.
assistant.
Good job. Good form.
Hey, you got to have that guy, bro.
Hey.
In the LDS community, we need you. You got to have that guy. It's like a wingman 2.0.
2.0.
Keep going. Sorry.
Jack, explain this segment to us.
All right. Wait, Jules, were you talking about BYU though? Still.
No.
All right. Sorry. All right.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, Nate. We love you. We love Jake Retzloff, BYU. Come on, baby. Playoffs. Since we're talking about the Olympics, it's our first Olympic episode, by the way. Pretty sweet.
I think we got a couple more coming.
I like pulling the. We got more coming.
We
It's
are,
right.
bro. We do.
We got one in the bank.
This is a new Olympic podcast, baby.
And
The
then
Rings.
we got a special. We got a couple specials. So shout out.
Shout out to the IOC, baby. Shout out FIFA, upstanding
Hey,
organizations.
maybe we
I
can
love
do
them.
like. Maybe we can start. We can start planning games with names at the Olympics in 2028.
Ooh.
Where's it at?
Here.
Oh shit. Duh. Traffic's gonna be a bitch.
Oh, shoot. Oh, my God. Just hang out in the village. Just post up in the village. Bro, how's that cardboard bed? Like, just hanging out, man. All right. So the episode here was an Olympic episode. So it felt fitting that we try to build an ideal U.S. Olympic team using only NFL players.
Okay.
So you might have, we need someone for the 100-meter dash. Tyreek Hill. Oh, my God, we got to fill out an equestrian team. Who's going to be dressage?
I don't know what that is.
We'll learn.
We'll learn.
Mm.
That kind of thing. So our pool to choose from is only NFL players. Past, some current, or some present. Present, some past.
Okay.
Well,
100 meters.
Let's get into it.
The 100 meter dash.
I mean, you got Tyreek. My broadcast coach, Joe Montgomery, she gets mad at me, she gets mad at any NFL guy because she comes from track background.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or like any analyst that says like this guy's got track speed. She looks and she goes, "No, they don't. Track speed is different speed." I was like, Tyreek Hill's got track speed.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like run a 10
But she gets mad about that.
He's run a 10 flat 100.
Huh?
He's run like a 10 flat 100.
What about Demps, who played on our team? He
There's
should be
also
on there.
Javad
Shout out Jeff
Best
Demps.
was in the Olympics for
Best was in the Olympics.
Yeah, from Cal.
Chris Johnson was fucking lightning.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Fastest 40 time for a minute there.
What about
Bob Hayes, right, from the Cowboys?
Bob Hayes, baby.
What about I believe a sub 10.5 high school guy here in the state of California that I played with, Matthew Slater.
Joker. What's the guy on the Eagles too? The guy on the Eagles was ran at Oregon.
What about the white boy?
Yeah, the white guy.
Yeah, he's the hurdler.
Yeah.
But they have another. Dajim's probably on this too. Little
Fast
jugger's
guy.
fast, isn't he?
Yeah, it's Devin Allen. That's him.
That's a good list.
Devin Allen.
He does the wait, what does he do?
Wow, that's crazy. We'd have a hell of a 4x1.
Would be fire, bro.
We'd have a hell of a 4x1. Who'd
Yeah,
be the
he's a
anchor?
hurdles. He's 110-meter hurdles.
Dude, Jeff Demps was fast.
Bro.
I remember him. We had him in preseason. I don't think coach let him go or something.
I was gonna say, speaking of asking Bill permission,
Bill
We
didn't give
talked about
permission.
him in
Florida
Last
Gator.
time I ever saw him in the Olympics, though. Yeah, he was fast.
bro.
But it is different, like when you're just fast.
Yeah. You
Track
got to
speed.
train for it. You got to do the thing. It's a different.
You got to put your foot in the ground.
Yeah.
And you can't. You don't always get to open up. You got to be more of like an Indy car or like a Formula One car, not a dragster.
Yeah.
Got to have that good suspension.
All right, Jack, tell us about this.
All right, next we have the decathlon. This was what many consider the greatest athlete in the world. You know, Bruce Jenner, all those guys. But now it's not. Gets a little bit overlooked now as far as.
So what is the decathlon, Jack?
So it's 100 meters, a long jump, the shot put, the high jump, 400-meter, 110-meter hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, and 1,500 meters. So it's like
So
you do
each
it
of
all,
these
baby.
contestants all have to do all of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
10 events.
What was Bruce Jenner's 40 or 100?
Let me look.
That's insane. That's what I think my coach was. She was a decathlete.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, who are some NFL players you think could be all-around athletes?
All-around athlete.
Throwing helps here.
He had a
Athleticism.
10.900.
10-9.
Slower than Tyreek.
Yeah. But Tyreek ain't long jump. I don't know, dude. Tyreek could probably do a lot of this shit fucking great.
This is like for NFL.
Tyreek is just a little ball muscle.
He would be like for every one of these events, I'm just like, Tyreek. Throw Tyreek in there.
I mean,
like,
Yeah.
You think of one.
Besides some of the throwers.
Jim
big
Brown.
throwers.
Jim Brown, just a great all-around athlete.
How would Deion Sanders do here?
I bet Deion would be nice.
Deion would kill everything that was running, but I don't think he could shock put. I don't know. Maybe he could discus.
Is this 10-toe Deion
He's
or
so-
current Deion?
I don't know. Prime
We're
time.
going to
Prime. Everyone gets to be their
Yeah,
prime.
you get to be their prime. Yes.
Everyone gets to be their prime.
Metcalf, DK.
Ooh, specimen.
He looks like the new sprinter, man.
He does. He
It's
tried.
crazy.
He tried to get out
He was
there.
in the Olympic trials too. He's fast. Yeah. DK
DK's
Metcalf.
fast.
Yeah.
And he's strong.
I'm kind of leaning DK in this one
Are you going
in a
DK?
weird way. He just
Jim Brown?
that's tough though.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson?
Bo knows, baby.
I think Bo.
Let's go. Bo knows
Bo
because he
knows.
can do it all,
He's
baby.
the multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
I think gotta go. Wrestling?
Oh, Stephen Neal, bro.
Oh, easy.
He was he beat Brock Lesnar.
I don't think they had it in Olympics when he was there doing it. Was it? How come he wasn't in the Olympics?
Like wrestling, there's
It's
kind
coming.
of pull.
It's-
I don't think it ever officially left.
Aaron Darnold was a fucking badass
Yeah.
wrestler.
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis is he? I think he wrestled in high school and shit. I think he's all state.
Yeah, he's lightning fast and big.
Man,
Like, how could you ever remove wrestling? Like, how is it even on
It's
the
a-
chopping block?
It's a
It is
core wrestling
yes.
sport.
wait. So is
Back
it
when
in
they
the
were
Olympics
naked.
or not?
It is, yes.
But they've been like toying to get rid of it. Like
But was
the
it
Olympics,
there when Steve Neal was there?
I believe so. Yeah,
How come he wasn't on the Olympic team?
Let me look.
because he was probably playing football. No,
No, Steve Neal was the best. I remember when Four Locos got shut down. He bought a pallet of it in like New Hampshire because Massachusetts shut it down. So he went to New Hampshire and got a pallet of fucking old school Four Locos when people were dying. This guy would drink it like it was like a wine. He was a badass. He couldn't even move his shoulders for the last any year I met him. His last couple years of his career, his shoulders were like they'd have to like put his shoulders in place before a game, and he would go manhandle people. Like how the fuck is he grabbing people? He can't even move his shoulder.
just like tape it in for the game.
You know, literally, he had these braces where they had to like it was like one of those old school beret things. What are those where they pull the girls?
Corset.
Yeah, corset.
Like a
they had that
shoulder
for his
corset.
shoulder, and like they would pull it back, and it would like. Whoosh, and then I was like, what the hell? And then you see him grabbing and manhandling fool. That dude's badass.
It sounds like we've got our wrestling.
Going Steve Neal.
Cal State Bakersfield, 2-time NCAA Division I champion, 98 and 99.
World
Pretty
champ?
epic.
World champ.
Yeah, no NCAA.
No, I don't think he's at that level.
But yeah, they
I think
dropped.
he beat Brock Lesnar in
I don't
the
think
champs.
Brock Lesnar's at that level.
Yeah, it was in the national championships.
Yeah.
National champions is different from world
NCAA.
championships.
Yeah, he beat him, bro.
Still, he's
Yeah, they dropped Olympics.
dude. I don't know, man. Aaron Donald. He was a wrestling champ too, isn't he?
He's got like the body type for it too, where he's like big but he's lean. So if you can get the weight up but still be
He's
fast.
also he's short.
But that's a disadvantage to be shorter. As a
Nah, he
wrestler.
got built in pad level. He'd bring you into him.
But
Low
then there's
man
like
win.
sometimes you can't if you get lanky guy. They
Yeah,
can
but that dude's
outlast
so
you.
quick, and he just like make you do your move and then like crab around you and get you.
He's fast. Yeah, he'd be stud.
I'm
these
going
guys would
Steve Neal though.
Me
Steve
too.
Neal.
Gotta go with him.
Going
Man.
Steve Neal.
Okay, archery.
Archer.
Gotta be accurate. You gotta have good aim. Gotta be poised.
I mean, Matt
breath
Light's a
control.
good
Matt
archer.
Light.
I
That
mean,
light is like
if there is any kind of turkey, living kind of specimen on our properties, that thing would probably be gone with Matt Light's bow and arrow.
oh my god.
I feel like all the kickers would do well here. I think it's like a punter.
Kickers.
Yeah. Brandon Cook.
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cook's the archer, baby.
Pulls it out. I don't think he can. So what's the deal with that? You can pull out a bow and arrow, but you can't shoot a gun in the league celebration.
Didn't they change it around? We were just talking about.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
Were we?
Archery was illegal in celebration, but now I think it's back.
Now archery's back.
Yeah.
Robin Hood. That's tight.
It's in season.
Aaron Rodgers, he'd probably be. I bet you he'd be really. He's probably really good at like all that shit, shooting, darts, any kind of accuracy. Aaron Rodgers he's probably got a right eye dominant that just fucking. I bet you he could be really good with a pistol.
Aren't like
Aaron Rodgers would probably be a great Wild West drawer.
It kind of looks
Gunslinger.
like it now.
gunslinger.
I bet you he'd have a quick because he kind of does that when he's like when he does something good. He kind of puts his arms into like a fucking.
I feel like he took that from Brett Favre though. Like learned that from Brett Favre watching him.
Nah, maybe I'm time. bias, or what is it called?
Recency bias.
Yeah, recency bias.
How about breakdancing?
Breakdancing.
Oh my God! Shout out Ray Gun.
So what's up with? I don't remember this. What happened with this girl? How did she get in? How did she get people? You got people training their lives to get into the Olympics, and what was this? I want to know. I want to know the breakdown. I don't know the story, but I saw some stuff.
So I'm probably going to leave some stuff out here. She's like a professor in Australia of like some kind of cultural studies or whatever.
Of like breakdance.
Yeah, like like which encompasses that. She like does breaking, competed in I think like maybe the most world events in like the qualification.
So she's worked
system.
her ass off for
Like
it.
she's done them, yes.
Yeah. It's a new sport, and this is the only time it'll be in the Olympics,
Right.
so there's a lot of stuff.
But then there was some controversy among why Australia chose her as their representative out of like to send to the Olympics and not some of the other people that were trying to qualify. Like, and there was they accused us of like some shady stuff. Then she got to the Olympics, and her b-boy routine, breakdance routine, was not on the level of like. It was like she became like the meme of the Olympics.
Yeah. Everyone's like,
I mean, it was kind of fire, I thought, but like
So
everyone
is
else
that a nepo situation?
I think that's what they were claiming, like some backdoor dealings. Like she knew the lady that was running the IOC
Who the
for
fuck is
Australia.
running
some
this
qualification
Yeah,
stuff.
it was
The
weird. The
Olympics.
points.
These fucking
It's all
they're in FIFA Olympics. They're fucking.
it's I don't know. There's who knows what's going on behind
There's
the scenes.
something behind those doors.
100%, bro.
Didn't someone
This guy though, I mean, I don't even want to get into
Hold on,
breakdancing.
before we leave breakdancing,
I just
wasn't
gotta talk about this guy. That guy was my hero of the Olympics. The
the,
guy,
the Turkish shooter, yeah,
Where's he from? Eastern Europe, right?
Turkey, I believe.
Turkey.
Yeah, he just
You can-
rolls up
says
there.
Turkey on his shirt.
No earmuffs. Did he? And he placed, didn't he?
Yeah, Yusuf Dicek.
That dude should be casted as like the next John Wick.
Yeah, bro. He doesn't care.
Do we know what his day job is in Turkey?
Let me look.
He's
Could
probably
already be John Wick.
What is
He just rolled out of bed, threw on the glasses, hand in pocket. What else can you win an Olympic medal in with your hand in your pocket?
I want to. He's got some cool gray ass hair. He got the little swoop.
Dude.
I also
I
like-
need to know more about this guy.
There was like a Korean.
Wait, does everyone else use two hands on this thing?
No, I think they all do one, but all of them have like weird like glasses and scopes and shit. Can you pull up that?
Yeah, like there's the
like,
Oh my
she from
God.
Korea?
yeah, so like there's like a Korean woman
She
who
was
has
swaggy
like the,
as fuck too. She was
like-
cool in the opposite direction.
yeah,
Is that
like
like
she had
Burrow?
like the gear.
Just a swaggy
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, sorry, wrong guy here. So then there's this lady. She goes the opposite way with like the blacked out eye, and she's got the
That can't be legal,
those look like the glasses you were catching punts with, bro.
bro. So
That's legal, I think. Like
Yeah.
like
And
that's
if you-
the farthest boundary you
how
can push
long?
it.
How long has this event been in the Olympics?
For a while, I think
Shooting,
shooting's
yeah.
been in a minute.
So you mean to tell me people in 1900 or when they first invented this thing, they had fucking
No, it evolves. It
Cyclops
changes.
visions?
Also, if you look at
That
the
is
side,
fucking. You can't have a Cyclops vision.
we got to write a letter to the
That's like-
IOC. After
You remember
this.
those Google glasses? This lady's got those Google glasses. I worn those things. I mean, what are we doing?
Bro, this guy's has been in
That was our first shoot
Shock
together,
put.
Jules.
Yeah, air
Vince
pistol.
Wilfork.
Gotta go,
Wilfork,
Vince Wilfork.
done.
Shock put Vince Wilfork. James Harrison's probably a fucking load on that. I bet you he knows how to do it too. I think he did it. Rhythmic gymnastics.
Oh my
Who's in the
gosh.
rhythmic gymnastics?
That member, I'm just thinking back to
Danny
old school.
Amendola.
Dola, bro. Gotta put Dola in there.
Hey, Dola got that rhythm.
Who'd they put in there in old school? Who'd they make do when that
It was
that
Will
wasn't-
Ferrell.
Wasn't it Will
It was Will
Ferrell?
Ferrell, yeah,
It
yeah.
was Will Ferrell.
And then Wincy did the he did
Hey.
the pommel horse or no.
Odell know how to dance.
Odell can shake it, baby.
I bet you he'd look pretty. He'd kill that thing.
Bro, I drove by.
Fucking Baker would do it just out of fun. I can see Baker doing like a SNL skit doing that and
With, like, the
looking like
footsie
Will Ferrell.
stirrup
Yes, in
pants,
like a
yeah.
tutu.
Yes.
Synchronized swimming, now called artistic swimming.
Yes. This is a unit based one,
Why?
I think. I don't
Artistic.
know.
Yeah, maybe it's just not about just being in order. Maybe it's just being creative. I like that. I like Jack Angle on this. It's got to be a unit, like the Legion of Boom, or the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, or the Steel. Can you imagine the Steel Curtain?
Steel curtain. The purple
That
people
would be so
eaters.
funny. Something tells me they could do it.
The 2024 receiving core for the Detroit Lions.
Those guys seem kind of, I don't know. They seem a little
They're
bit
in
like,
sync?
they seem very in sync and good body control. I think I'm just reading into, maybe I'm just
Dan
saying-
Campbell will coach him up too.
Dan Campbell coaching synchronized swimming.
Could you see him?
Cut the commercial now.
Again. If we don't get those spirit ankles, we'll be here all goddamn night. Ping pong?
Ping pong. Oh, this is you, bro.
Nah, I wouldn't be that good.
What?
Dolo would be the king at like from my groups, but there's like some probably really good ping pong players in the NFL.
Dolo would be shirtless too.
I think.
Olympic.
Who's good? Who's probably
Yeah,
good?
who
I
are
bet you the court. I bet you like Burrow's pretty good. I bet you Mahomes is good. Good.
They were saying Saquon is supposed to be good.
Saquon is
I read
he
an
good?
anecdote. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
What's your opinion on ping pong table in locker room?
It depends on the season and the team.
Yeah, I can see that.
Depends on the season and the team. If you have a team that can handle it, yeah, it's whatever. A couple seasons we'd have it like you had to go through the equipment room to the back laundry room, and it would be like right by the fucking dryers, and we'd be playing ping pong next to the dryers and shit.
A real
We
speakeasy.
have 5
ass.
minutes, get like a quick game to 8 or 7.
When are we getting a ping pong table here?
I know, it gets too wild.
It gets wild.
It
It's
does.
loud too.
Balls going everywhere.
Like an outdoor
wild.
one.
Rockies
Fucking
chasing
bring the
ball.
humidity in the nut house up. Sweat. There'd be sweat everywhere. I'd be dripping puddle. Like we sweat when we play. This isn't fucking
The floor's got to be unfinished, bro.
sunshine and rainbows, man. Me and Dolo used to play that stuff for hours.
Bro, Joe.
Spitting on the ground, fucking shirts off,
What if
dip
you,
spit.
I know it smelled
what if
crazy
you put
in
it
there.
in the garage and just like wheeled it onto the cul-de-sac?
under the lights.
Fun for the whole neighborhood.
Or we gotta we could do it in the backyard somewhere. But I don't like wind dated.
Oh,
Outdoors wind dated. You
yeah.
get these, marine layers that come in over here in the west side. You're dealing with the fucking wind. And I'm playing that. What is this? I'm playing at Lambeau Field for fucking ping pong.
that would be kind of cool.
You got to pick the wind, which side you sit
event,
on.
Yeah,
ping pong
you go
event
over
with
here.
the elements.
The fucking coin flip's so huge. I don't take the ball. I take this direction.
Go
I'm pulling
there.
a Belichick in ping pong.
Me and my buddy
Lick the
would play
finger
in
and
the
hold it
rain.
up.
Me and my buddy would play in the driveway in the rain sometimes. That was
That's
fun.
dedication to the
In the
pong,
rain?
baby.
Yeah, didn't work very well. But we
Could you
did.
imagine Bill if that was real? You just spraying the ping pong ball with fucking water.
It's got a
play.
hose.
Play. He's got the hose. He's just hosing the table.
Wet ball drill. Wait, should we go now?
You got to do dressage.
All right, we got to do dressage, and then we'll wrap it up with our
What
last
is
one. So dressage is
We'll do
is horse
it's
dancing?
an
more.
equestrian event that is often described as horse dancing. The horse
Now, do you?
is you prance. It's like
There's a lot of prancing.
it's a lot of prancing. It's you got to be in sync. Rider and horse. It's something else. You got to see it to believe it. Snoop went viral for he and Kevin Hart did like a breakdown of it 2 Olympics ago.
Yeah.
It went viral. Kinda
Anything
put it on the
horse,
map.
I just think of Terry Bradshaw. He
Me
has
too,
like a
bro.
brilliant-
Me too.
Terry
Uncle
Bradshaw
T.
has I think
He
he
shows
owns
horses.
a bunch of horses. He's in that world.
Yeah, he's
we
he's
talk
on the
about it every
circuit.
once in a while. He's like, yeah. He calls me, hey son, I just got a new stud. I'm like, awesome. He's like, yeah, this one's from over here, there. I'm telling me all this terminology. I took this one, and I'm like, awesome. My daughter loves horses, Terry. He'd be like,
Terry breeding him. I love it.
he's like, why don't you bring her down? Bring her to one of the things. I'm like, I don't want to because then she'll ask for a horse, Terry. Fucking Terry.
Uncle Terry, bro.
Prancing around, race walking.
Race.
There's a lot of controversy about race walking in the Olympics this
Both
year.
feet have to be on the ground.
So yeah, what the hell?
So
At once.
So what I've also, because I did some reading on
Heel
this
toe,
even
heel toe.
before this, is that it's not just that you have to have one foot on the ground. Technically, it's supposed to look like you're walking. Like the look matters just as much as the like actual foot on ground. So like that.
So
like,
who won this one?
I don't know. Some
it was.
Hey, Patrick Mahomes be doing the speed walking when
Yes, that's what I put.
he be doing the speed walk when he goes over and he speed walks into the huddle. He's funny.
Gotta have
I
that.
love his mannerisms. He's so genuine on that field with his. Whenever the fucking ref or something, I hate when other guys do it. I okay it with Patrick Mahomes because it's him, but it's genuine. Like some of these dudes out here, I saw a quarterback, and I won't put him on blast or who it was. His face mask got touched, and mid-sack, he's looking at the goddamn referee asking, it just got touched. It just got touched. This is fucking football. I think he fumbled the ball. I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
I hate that. I hate even more than that is the wide receiver who like is looking for a call off a ticky-tacky thing.
You gotta earn
go
those.
make a fucking catch. Last one.
Shout out to Brian Pintado, though, our reigning gold medalist from Ecuador. He won the gold in Paris. Modern. Do we our last one?
How many
here?
of these goddamn events?
We got one last
Jesus
one.
Christ.
The modern pentathlon.
Okay,
Another one where you got to do a bunch of stuff. Penta being 5.
wow, I gotta watch
So
these
5
ones.
events: fencing, freestyle swimming, equestrian show jumping, pistol shooting, and cross country running. Next Olympics, they're taking the horse element out, and they're adding some sort of an obstacle course, like a American Ninja Warrior thing. Kind of lame.
So lame.
But
What's the origin of this? Is
yes,
there's a reason.
this is what a 19th century cavalry soldier would have to do. So you got to you're carrying a message.
They didn't have
or
guns
whatever.
in 19th century, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd
19th century,
you
1800,
got to
yeah.
swim over a river. You got to run across a field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta fight a guy with
You
a
got to
sword.
fight a guy. Yeah.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. This guy's got to be kind of like
A
a
McCaffrey vet.
a guy that can do it all.
McCaffrey.
He's a beast.
How do you think he's with
McCaffrey.
the epi?
Lamar would probably be really good at all this stuff.
I could see that. I'd take Lamar in my army.
Baker Mayfield, I think. Would
Baker,
actually be great
Baker,
for this.
Baker, the touchdown maker would be great.
Bake, man. I
Bake.
mean,
What can he do?
how about that stiff arm?
Yeah,
That
Bosa.
play,
What the
even
heck? Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
That was wild, bro.
I was watching that.
Hold on.
Did Nick not want to hit him?
That's what was so weird. It was like a.
Did he not want to throw him down because he didn't want to get penalized? Was he trying to be too smart of a football player?
That's what it felt like.
I don't know, man.
Because he had
Regardless,
him locked up.
to be able to keep the focus when you got that big ass Nick Bosa hand. I've shaken that hand. That hand is fucking huge.
Whew.
Wrapped over my wrist, made me feel like a little baby.
He had both them balls on Bake, didn't he?
That's a big play by Big.
That was awesome. Love
Well,
Bake.
what an Olympic episode.
That was awesome. Thanks, Nate.
Nate, thank you. Very inspirational. Everyone go check out
The Rugby Sevens. Hold on. let me
check
find
out
this
Nate
real-
on everything.
Just check out Nate.
Just look it up.
Give
Nate.
him a look.
Finish Strong, A Father's Code and a Son's Path. Nate's book out now wherever you buy books.
Finish strong, baby.
Look out for that movie.
Unbelievable
Yeah.
inspiration. His story, I mean, it's touching and it's pretty crazy to have the will to be able to, have that special relationship with your fathers and then, be able to carry on and achieve the things that he's achieved, with that. That's just crazy to me. That's awesome. He's a fucking man. He's a man's man. And he's a dad now, girl dad.
Love
So,
that.
Awesome. That's been another episode of Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Comment a game you want us to do. And remember
Rate and review.
to follow Games with Names on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. Leave a message on the hotline at 424-291-2290. We'll see you guys next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.